I said, why don't you fuckers best fucking plug my third-party focus series, otherwise I have to do it myself.
Well, yeah, I've got a shill for myself, so have you.
No, he just admitted that. He just said,
Yeah.
one of you do it.
I'm here with the fucking merch, mate. I'm fucking chilling hard.
Guaranteed. Just fucking guaranteed that none of us are going to do it.
No, you got
It's
it.
like, well, fuck him. It's our duty. It's our duty as our fucking bastarding mates to kind of go, no.
I don't think any of you can hear me very well.
Yeah, I can hear you. We heard you. We were just ignoring you. We were like, he can shill for himself. No, I've got you covered, mate. Don't worry, I've got you covered.
Warboss of the ApORKalypse! Ladies and gentlemen, the Warbosses of the ApORKalypse.
Hello and welcome to the Warbosses of the ApORKalypse. Following on from last week, oh fucking bollocks.
Go with it. Last month. No,
last month. Following on from last month, where we talked about miniatures. We thought, fuck it, we're on a roll. Let's do it again. And so this week we've got one of the winners from last month. Who could it be? Which one could it be? I do not know.
Sid, thank you for that wallet, that brown envelope for the teeth, mate.
It was just a mini's worth.
But yeah, so this week we're going to talk about our favourite third-party things for orcs. We had to specify that, or otherwise Dim would have gone on some serious tangents. So we're going to talk about them. We've picked 5 each, and we're going to talk about them through the show and look at the cool pictures, look at the cool minis, and talk about them and shit like that.
Our dead favourite third-party things. Kind of.
Show you guys.
I don't know about you guys, but whittling it down to like 5 is way hard.
I didn't. I've cheated, as always.
I've cheated.
I kind of did too. Yeah. And I also allowed you guys to name some of the things that I wanted to name, so I could go, yeah, me too. Yeah.
We were allowed. Permission was granted.
I feel it's important at this time as well that we talked about this just before we started recording, that it's important for me to give a little plug here to a series that focuses on third-party miniatures and that. So I'd just like to take this opportunity. If there'll be a link down below, guys, if you want to go and check out my range reviews, go and check them out. It's on 6+ Stevo. I look at like a lot of third-party stuff. Yeah, I've covered things like For Fun minis, all the big boys, and yeah, all of that. Go and check it out. You won't find better on YouTube.
Pretty good.
There you go.
You know what? I've seen that series, viewers. It's actually pretty good. But the only thing I would pick on is if you want to actually like see the person holding the miniatures and talking about them from a perspective of having them, then you can watch Dread's third-party focus series instead.
I've never seen that. I'll have to check that out.
So it'll be fun to watch this back and realise how quickly everybody twigged as to where Steve was going with that.
I had a feeling, but
because I picked up really fucking quickly.
Nice. It sounds like he's going to be nice. Yeah, he's probably going to no.
Typical fucking bad name.
So anyway, what are we doing? Talking about third-party stuff,
shit, yeah.
Yeah, we just want to show you guys a little bit of what's out there, a little taster of just some of the awesome stuff that is not GW, but some awesome third party like orc stuff.
And white floats our boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's going to start with one then? Let's see. Let's do one.
Guess first.
Okie doke then. Well, the first one I'm going to show is I'll go with is the first third-party mini I actually got. Probably only a couple of months into getting back into Warhammer, and that was RTLW's Iron Boss.
Mm.
I'm just going to pick a picture of it. So another look.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm not being rude and being on my phone, but I'm looking at what we've chosen on the phone. You guys will be seeing it on screen.
Yeah, I was looking for
Red managed to break his and drop it off of the shelf, and
they're not very good with heights, to be fair. Like a lot of resin stuff, but I was just looking for a Warboss model of a decent girth, essentially. And when I saw
a nice bit of girth,
it's kind of like it, man. But when I saw him and I saw him next to a normal mini, I was like, oh, this is before, like, you know, the Glasgow mini came out, and you know, it was the first really big Ork I'd seen. And I was like, oh, that is fantastic. And I got it, and I was just so impressed with the quality of the resin. Bear in mind, this was the first time I'd like had any dealings with resin models. And I was like, this is amazing.
Resin with RTL. Wow.
Yeah.
Lovely.
And I didn't even wash it. I didn't even know how to wash them. I just stuck it together.
You probably don't need to. Really.
Well, with some of them,
I've had no problems with them.
Yeah. With some of them, you don't really have to, particularly if you buy from the smaller companies. They tend to wash it for you. And also, they don't hire really badly trained people who don't know how to remove release agents.
But yeah, you even got options with them as well. With the, you know, you had the big skull with the rockets on top, or the Grot Gunner. Fantastic! First time I've seen a Grot Gunner as well, like that.
As an aside, GW, that's how you do a Grot on top of Mega Armor, right? Twats.
I've got to say, that Grot Gunner is
pretty sick,
just delightful. He is lovely.
Looks like he can fire in every direction.
Yeah,
like the official model.
He's
yeah. You've even got a choice. So you've got the big Snaz hammer as well. I call it a Snaz hammer because of, you know, the book. But but yeah, I've used parts of that model on like loads of other ones as well. The Grot Gunner ended up as the Crotch Gunner in my Gorgonaut. The banner ended up on my Battle Fortress, and part of the arm, which is, you've got a bionic arm, that was the arm on Judge Death Dread, which is holding onto the handlebars, because it's just a nice bionic arm of Death Dread scale. So yeah, lovely model, and not too expensive either, really, for RTL. It was with 40 quid. Not cheap, but
you're getting exceptional quality there, aren't you? No,
had mine sent to me for free, but then I've obviously broke it, so I'm gonna have to buy another one. So I'm gonna have to fork out for it in the end anyway, because I do love the model, and like, it's never gonna be good if I repair it. It's broken and it's shattered, you know, like it's not broken apart like a Lego model would, you know. It's shattered, and fixing it would just So I use the bits that are shattered on other things, maybe.
How does he scale with Gazzy?
He's very, very slightly shorter, but he's also kind of, you know, lunging.
Yeah, he's
so,
a bit hunched over,
sort of stood there. Yeah. And plus, Gazzy's big, but it looks like if there was a door in the back, you could open it and get out and go for a cuppa, and he's stood there like that. Whereas if he got out of his armor, it would just be a pair of boots and a pair of pants, and that'd be it.
Say what we're all thinking, Sid. Say what we're all thinking. He's got a bigger head.
He has got a bigger head.
Definitely has.
He's Ork. He's Ork with like pads and braces, but you can see his pants, just pants. You can see like that chest plate. I painted it, and I was looking at it because I painted his chest, and it was like, oh, the muscularity. I didn't want to sort of cover it up. I was like, I'll stick it on. But I did leave some of the armor off, like his spiky shoulder pad, just so you could see a bit more green. Yeah. But he's such a, you can tell he's a massive Ork.
Yeah.
And he just looks hench. Yeah, love that model.
He kicked it off to a good first pick there, mate. That'll be a popular one with the viewers, I think, as well. RTLW are just gaining more and more notoriety in the community.
Not wanting to do any spoilers, but probably not the last RTLW
probably
thing
not.
on this.
Probably not 4. from here. So.
Yeah. So I don't know how many of these I've got. I think I've got yeah, right, okay, so I'm gonna go to Cromlech, and I'm gonna pick the Killer Nose. So the squig cans, basically.
The minute we said we were doing this, I knew you were going to pick them.
they're great. They're so characterful. They're really, really good. And I think I got 2 of the same head twice, but it didn't particularly matter. Like it was still perfectly fine. They all fitted on the right stuff, as it were. And yeah, they're really, really characterful and good. A bit more high tech than my Rebel stuff normally is, so I wasn't sure how well they would fit in. But I've been thinking about expanding my Rebels for quite a while now, and I'm kind of going with high tech units anyway. So yeah, it was just, you know, they're just really, really fun. And I know this is often a controversial thing to say, but I really, really hate the Killer Can models. I've never liked them. They're
clean out you shut your whore mouth.
Still would react to that.
Oh,
But
we won't be seeing you Monday morning, mate.
Well, I kind of like the. I mean, I use them as death threats, but I really like the old second-ed ones. I much prefer them, the second-ed sort of barrel thing.
Yeah.
But I would use those for death threats anyway. I love the idea of cans, and I think I might moderately prefer the metal thirded ones, but practically speaking, I would rather use and have used the current plastic ones. But this was just a nice way of having the option to put some killer cans in my army, but not have to use the plastic ones. I've had a lot of breakages. The problem I have with the kit is mostly there seems to be some specific finicky small bits that will fall off TM with the killer can kit. Prime example is the exhaust ports that go on the back battery things, and because of the way that they connect, even with plastic glue, I've got like, I want to say like 25 cans somewhere. Almost all of them are broken one way or another, so I stopped using them, really. I mean, granted, probably part of that is a poor transportation issue, but it's...
I was going to say, I've never had any issue in mine, but they're in like magnetic casing, you know, so they're not, it's not touching anything. But...
I would, yeah, I think in future I would probably do that if I was going to...
it's the way forward of transporting, definitely. But mate, it's a great pick. When I saw it, this was October 21.
Yes,
was it? I believe. And when I first saw it, I was like, that's such a cool idea, because they're great for, like you say, Grot Rebels and stuff.
It came out the same year as the Norzilla, so if you can remember what year the Norzilla came out, and that
might be 20, might be 20. I just think it, as well as being like for Grot Rebels and stuff like that, or any Ork army, when I saw them, I was just like, they would be great in like a feral Ork army, or like a heavily sort of feral snakebite army, just with like everything sort of organic and stuff, you know, like very. And I love that sort of different way to represent killer cans. It's so cool. They'd be great with like they'd tie in really well with like beast snaggers and stuff if you wanted to get like that sort of theme in your army of a more feral, less sort of you know, machinery and stuff. And like you say, Dim, like just so characterful. I think my favorite one is the one with the like the face mask, the metal plating over the face. So
that's the one I have 2 of. So sweet. I was quite thrilled about that.
Yeah.
The one at the bottom, the one at the bottom of the picture that I'll be using to throw up on this, or whoever's in. The bottom one is the one I don't have. I've got both ones with bionic eyes, I believe, which is a bit of a shame, but I'll probably be getting more than 3. I'll probably get myself another box of them at some point. Yeah, and then I'll find some way to make them look a bit different.
And I'll take it that they're all interchangeable as well. You can change the faces with the bodies and the different armaments. And
well, this is one way. This is another way that they really do beat out killer cans, just from a pragmatic choice. When you order them, you are given the option of what gun specifically to give to them, and I think the only thing I would say to Cromlech might be an idea to, I mean, they probably do, I haven't checked, but if they don't sell them separately, maybe sell the guns separately, because I could totally see people picking an initial choice and then thinking, oh, I might magnetize this and then buy the other ones. And that might get them another good sale.
All of the weapon choices.
One of the other kits that they sell that might be getting mentioned by me later on comes with all of the options, and I don't know if they still did when I bought them. I don't know if they're still doing that or whether or not it was a lesson they learned from that previous kit. But like just the fact that you can pick the options, you can give them all the same combat weapon if you want. And I think I picked one of each. I seem to recall they're somewhere. I should have really got them out, but I didn't. And then you can pick the guns, and you can buy a kit of 3 models that are going to represent 3 effectively killer can type unit, and all of those gun types are going to be the ones that you want. And because most sensible generals pick one of the same weapon, just give them all the same weapon. And because the models aren't horrendously overcluttered, unlike certain other models that come from certain other companies, there's space to put glyphs and customization on to make the copies look different.
Yeah. No, very cool, mate. Very cool.
Well, I think being a sort of themed on the new beast snaggery sort of stuff, you know, that they kind of work, you know, like you're saying, Steve, like in a sort of feral orc list or something that's a little bit more animalistic and a little less mechanical. I was going to go with a different one as my first choice, but I think I'll go with the one I'm going to go with will be the Wargame Exclusive, the Squigboss and Smasher Squigs. There's 3, so I basically cheated here. I picked 3 in one, but they're all from the same, and they're all with the same sort of theme. They're basically Squig Riders. And yeah, I mean, I don't own these. This is my choice of something that I don't actually have, but I definitely want them because they're really good stand-ins. Like I've seen some other really good stand-ins actually as it goes. Who else does one? Really like the brothers. What do they call themselves?
I don't know. Talk about the ones we're looking at.
All right, fine. The Greenskin Brothers, I think it is. But anyway, yeah. But these ones, Wargame Exclusive ones, like I've had some stuff from Wargame Exclusive before. Again, their resin's like really good. It's
lovely.
I think RTL's is maybe slightly better.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, not noticeably. You know, like most people would be very. I mean, it's good resin. Yeah, I just like the dynamic poses of those, like the way that the actual squigs look like they're taking a pose. You know, like I think part of what I didn't like the GW ones is they look a bit like when they used to make cavalry, and the horses are all sort of bunched up underneath, sort of thing, and they're all a bit samey like that. I find that the GW Squig Riders, Squig Hog Boys, you know, that something about the way that the legs are and that the way that
look like they're designed to be regimented, almost like, I know what you mean. Yeah,
and I think these RTL ones have got much more of a natural sort of posing. All right, like you wouldn't want repeats unless you was gonna, you know, get fancy with some green stuff and some plastic card. But you know, as individual models, I think they're beautiful, really nice, and like the piratey sort of freebooter theme that they've got, it's not overdone. You know, a lot of people really do overdo, you know, when they do freebooter pirates, they sort of overdo the nautical side of things.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because they are quite piratey.
They're quite piratey, but not too much. And like if you notice, like with the captain's hat, like they've nuanced it. They've given it their own orky touches. You know, so it's got some essences of that theme, but been orcified, so they're not. So there's no like wooden, you know, ship's wheel tied to them or anything silly like that. You know, like I just don't see. You know, anyway, I think this suits my sort of freebooters better, so I definitely want them. So that's why they are my.
How are they gonna fit into your Evil Sun's army, Dread? That's the
Yeah, he'll paint them red. It'll be fine.
They're really cool. They're really sweet. I really like those, especially the captain one with the pistol and the ridiculously awesome cutlass.
Yeah, see the cutlass as well. See, it does look kind of piratey and cutlassy, but also
it's a chopper.
Totally, yeah, I mean, it's totally an orc chopper, and it's totally, you know, if you was thinking these orcs are just desert dwellers or something like Mad Maxi, like it fits that too. You know, like you can make it work with whatever you're really going with.
It also looks like the Warboss had in his mind that he wanted a sword that was sort of cutlassy shape, probably for reasons he didn't fully understand. And whoever made that sword for him, probably a mech, went, oh, well, I'll just get a chopper and then I'll make a bit of metal to go on the back and I'll hook it up to an axe on the top and just stick the two together to make the shape, which is just a very nice touch. It's really cool.
The job done.
Wham, bam, more rivets. That should be my catchphrase.
That is good.
Bam,
I like
bam,
that.
more rivets.
More rivets.
So yeah, my first pick. I am gonna go with a miniature from Gear Guts, and it is Mega Walker B is his name, but we all know what it really is. It's a Mega Dread. I do have one now. He's lost his arms. he broke, so I have to repair his arms because it is this now I don't know what this material is called. It's like the 3D printed sort of resin stuff, so it's very brittle, so it doesn't like taking a knock. So but they did come apart already once before, and I super glued them back together, and they glued together tight until I stupidly knocked him and broke him. But regardless of what I've done for my one,
pin it.
Yeah, I'm probably going to need to do that.
Yeah, definitely pin it.
But I do. From the first moment I saw this, I was just like, yeah, because I mean, unlike Dim, I love killer cans. I love GW's killer cans. I love their Death Dreads. I just love my Dread mob. I've never been that keen on Forge World's Mega Dread. I don't quite know what it is about. I particularly just like the feet. It looks like they've got all clumped stuff on them, and it's almost too realistic for me. It's very cluttered, and it almost looks like it's from a different company. It is to a degree, but
well, it certainly doesn't help that an awful lot of the vehicles that were made for the Orks were to coincide with Imperial Armor 8, and Imperial Armor 8 was set in Castoral Novem, which was like a specific scrap world. So all the vehicles that were made during that era were all made to literally look like scrap thrown together.
Yeah,
and like it made sense in that conflict, and that's where Buzzgob comes from. Buzzgob is specifically from that conflict where he was like making like mega gargant stompers because he just had the bits
completely covered with metal.
Yeah, and like the problem is that some other aspects of the Forge World stuff is not based around that, and I think the Mega Dread came later, I seem to recall, but it might have had its rules in there still.
And this fella, like, regardless of not having arms, and you'll be seeing a picture of him on the screen with arms. The arms are very cool. I just love the fact that it just looked like a big scaled up Killer Can Death Dread, longer legs and arms. It's sort of a half between a Death Dread and like a mech suit sort of thing. It's
no mistake in what it is.
No, it's very cool. It does stand bloody tall. It's like my one's in quite a sort of a posing sort of, he's hunched on his knee because it's very posable, this miniature as well. So I've got him sort of hunched down looking like he's firing his gun. But even with that, he still stands just a touch taller than the Gorkanaut. So he does look very imposing on the table, and he attracts a lot of fire and because people are terrified of him. And I've gone out of focus. But yeah, from the first moment I saw the miniature, I was blown away by it, very impressed by it. And I still maintain. Gear Guts produces a lot of cool Ork vehicles, but I still maintain that this is the best one. I don't think it still hasn't been bettered for me. It's all down to personal taste, but yeah.
It
really
does.
like
it is Gear Guts playing to his strengths. I've known Gear Guts for a long time, and back in the old War Forum days, he was making ridiculous amounts of amazingly detailed and articulate, like articulating, like could move.
Yeah, this thing, like I say, ball and socket
things.
joints, very posable.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of like points of movement where you can really get. You can have this guy like throwing a kick. You can have him running. You can have him kneeling. So you can really pose this guy.
He's exceptional at making walkers. Like this model shows it. Like it's really good.
Definitely.
I've got the STL file for that. I've printed out this so far. So I think I'm on target to get it finished before Steve. Probably, mate.
I think you probably are. Yeah, he's he's technically he's painted not very well because it's just flat color, but I have used him in game. But like I say, because of the size, the only drawback to him being so scaled up is he attracts like. I used him in the game with Baltimore, and Baltimore was like, "What is that thing? What's his stats and that?" And I said, "He's not too bad. He's basically a Death Dread with a lot more wounds."
But... want to take him out though, because he looks scary.
Yeah, and he's wasted no time in taking him out. But yeah, regardless, he makes a great centerpiece to my Dread mob. You know, yeah, it's a good stuff. So yeah, that's my number one pick.
Yeah, I've only got one built Gear Guts thing, but I do love it. I was contemplating. It's not amongst my favorites. Just want to remind people that it's based on me. But yeah, that's a really cool model. But it's much better than the Wartsnegger that GW put out.
Right, Sid, number two.
Well, my second pick is 3. You know, it's kind of a mini range pick, if you like.
My last one.
Yeah, don't worry. I found it difficult just to pick one when it came as a set of 3 of 10. So this one is the Wargames Crew Squigbuggy Riders.
Oh, it's it there. Very clever.
Do you see? And it's the sort of sharky looking Squighogs.
Couldn't help me when I said, "Oh, the brothers," you know.
I don't know if this is them.
No, it's not. It's Wargames.
It's just there's quite a few of them out there, but I love the Sharks actually. SH'ORKS. It's very, very funny. The Sharks, they look to me they're a lot better than the Squighogs. I don't mind the Squighogs, mind. I just really like these, and I think the saddle kits on these are amazing. There's so much character in them. I've got the Squigbuggy Riders. I've got these. I've painted one of these. But that's all I've done. I need to get the rest of them done.
I was just gonna say, like, I'm with you on that front. If I had one major nitpick to make about the Squighogs, and like you, I don't mind them either. But like, the thing about orcs is when they have squigs, they pick them for one of 2 purposes. They're either funny, well, 3 purposes. They're either funny, or usually they're funny because of the second one, they're vicious, or they're food. And I just think the problem with the Squigbuggy Riders is they are just pigs humbling along. They don't look dynamic at all. They don't look ferocious. And what we know about the squigs that orcs tend to favor is they're fucking deadly. And like the Squigbuggy Riders do not look like that. I mean, obviously the bigger one that the Warboss rides on, which I always forget the name of because it'll be some terrible maximum copyright name. But that big one, that looks ferocious.
Beast Boss or the Squigosaur?
Squigosaur, yeah, the Squigosaur. The Squigosaur looks good. That's exactly what I would expect.
That's beautiful.
The hogs just look like they're just useless beasts of burden that orcs would torture to death before they even rode them. Yeah. They don't fit for me. Like I think broadly they're all right, but I think missed opportunity. And you can see with these models, if you just make them like look like they are charging at something, they look so much better.
Yeah. Like the one on the right, from my perspective, that's sort of looks like it's prowling.
Yeah.
They got, although they're like obviously shark based, they've also very sort of like a jaguar or something. They've got like
the sharks and like cats.
Yeah, it's like a shark and a tiger DNA has been meshed together. They've got their front paws and claws that are particularly savage and just awesome. Yeah,
they haven't really adapted these for an urban context though. Where are their roller skates? Come on, Dread. I'm relying on you.
Sorry. I'm not. Oh well.
That was a Street Sharks reference, boys and
I was
girls.
going to say there's a bell ringing in the back of my head from like just passing by the TV and going, "Oh, not what kids are watching these days."
Holy 90s Batman.
It's a good job we got an older audience.
Yeah. But they've got quite. I mean, they have got quite a nautical theme.
Yeah, very much so.
But they haven't. I don't think they've like really pushed it. There's like they've got like the saddle kits will have like a is that a what do you call it, a bill hook or something?
A bill hook.
Bill hook. That's
hook,
it.
bill
Going
hook.
the right. You know, the little sort of like the circular bomb. You know what I call a danger mouse bomb. On the one in the middle, you know, they've got, you know, one of them's got little like.
I think that's happened to their range in general, though. Lately, like, although they're still doing sort of pirate nautical theme stuff, it's not as overly piratey as their first lot of stuff was. I think it's quite a lot less.
Yeah,
I'm starting to like their stuff more and more. You know, every time they bring something out, I'm like, oh yeah, yeah. That.
Coining it now, nautical.
There you go. Nautical themed army. That's hard to say. But again, though, the resin was lovely. Nice quality resin as well. Really clear, sharp lines.
You find that if you don't buy Forge World resin or fine cast. You generally get a good resin.
No, but yeah. So they were a really good purchase. I'm glad I bought them. So I like to choose these models are the ones I've bought myself as well. Not the last lot, but this one anyway.
There seems to be a bit of a theme emerging with some of these sort of like nautical style Squigorks, because we've seen two of them already. But in both cases, you've got a metal fin, and I am fucking into that. That's brilliant. Great minds think alike.
Yeah.
Go on then, Dim. What's yours?
Right, well, again, and I'm going at the same maker again, but I will be mixing it up shortly and picking a couple of from left field things that people aren't expecting. But here's the one that people probably aren't surprised to hear, because if there's ever anything that I recommend, it's these. The Cromlech Goblin Panzer Squadron. Almost said Grot Tanks. They're Grot Tanks. You should not... Sorry, Joe, what were you saying?
I said I wanted this choice. I would have picked it if you hadn't.
Oh, well, I mean, just to show, this is one of my boxes of Grot Tanks, and that's double layered. I mean, I mostly was an idiot and bought the Forge World ones, but because I was an idiot and bought the Forge World ones, I'm in a position, and I'll probably do this with an actual proper picture later on, but just to do like a proper comparison between them. Because there you have a regular Grot Tank, and
Forge World one.
That's the Forge World one, yeah. And then here is the Cromlech one, and they are just way more detailed. They're way more detailed. The exhausts are more robust, so they don't fall off as often. And also, at least at time of when I bought these, I don't know if they still do it, but when I bought them, you could buy the whole set of 4, and they just come with all of the options. So they have every weapon option for all of the tanks, and for the commander, you get all of the options, and even for the central option is like a different style, and there's one of those different styles for each of the gun options that they have. So like Scorchers, big shooters, rockets, Grotzookers, don't take Grotzookers, custom mega blasters, and I think I've mentioned everything. And like these come at a price point that is, I think, still competing with the Forge World ones. And the Forge World ones, they come with exactly 4 sculpts like these ones, but with a lot less detail. You get precisely 4 or 5 guns. I can't remember how many it is, but you don't really get many spares. I think you get 1 of each of the weapon types, which means if you want to build the Grot tanks in a way that all 4 of the tanks have all 5 of the same gun, you are buying the same load 5 times to get all of those options represented. And bearing in mind that some of those options are not built in an equal world because, well, GW just does not know how to balance their games at all. So like the Grotzuka's dog shit this edition and has been in the previous edition. You're probably not going to take it. And if you've bought it, well, tough, you know. The Cromlech ones are just a far better value proposition, and they look better.
I should have tried to remember the figure that I worked out in my Grot Tanks video where I was talking about those and the Forge World ones and combining them, how many options. It was thousands. If you combine the kits, like there's literally thousands of different combinations that you can do.
That's a cool thing to mention as well, isn't it? That they are interchangeable with the Forge World ones. You can mix and match them and get more combinations and more variety out of them. But yeah, they look absolutely stunning, mate. They look really cool. I've eyed them up many a time. To one day I'll get them.
They're definitely in my top 5 in reality as well, but I couldn't pick them because Dim was. So
you got in there first.
But my choice number 2 does sort of follow on from that quite conveniently too, and it kind of fits the theme. So here is I can't remember actually. This one is a Cromlech Grot tank, I believe. I'm not sure if that's a Cromlech or Forge World turret on there, but these turrets I magnetize them so I can change them around. But there's another miniature. Well, there's a few actually. There's a few people that do other Grot tanks that actually do fit the Forge World ones.
This is the for fun one, right?
No, well, I was just trying to think off the top of my head who else. Ben does.
Yeah. Morgan Fox of Foxbox. Yeah, he's got some.
Yeah, he does.
I've got those somewhere actually.
But this one I'm going to show you now is actually from Max Mini, and it's called the Goblin Junkyard Roller. So you'll see it on the screen, but I've got it here. I've only got it undercoated at the moment. But it's such a characterful little Grot tank. It is, of all the Grot tanks I've got, and I have got, I don't know, about 50. It probably is my favourite one because it's just so characterful. And this turret, it is the same size, so I could put onto there. I could put one of the Forge World or Cromlech turrets. I mean, that one's a bit taller, but it still works. But I can use this turret on them as well, and it's just such a beastie turret. Just make I don't know. It reminds me quite a bit the tank of something from like Metal Slug.
Yeah,
very yeah.
There are a few very Metal Sluggy Grot tanks out there, or things that are Metal Sluggy that fit for us Grot tanks users.
I do have a Metal Slug Grot tank as well, but yeah,
I really like the way the wheels are on. I think it's the way the wheels are on the pistons. Anyway, it looks like it's got that suspension and stuff to it. It's got that bounciness to it. It's good. It's very characterful, really cool, and I can totally see why it is your favourite because it is cute and awesome and aggressive and all in equal measure. It's cool as hell.
Yeah, and a lot of it makes sense. You know, like you say, you've got the piston bits and stuff, and it looks like very punky down there and old school. And then like you've got this little driver's compartment at the front, and then where you've got the gun, you've actually got a really big, thick, reinforced bit of metal. So, like you know, like they thought about it a little bit at least. Like they're Grots and they're doing their best, and you know, like that's clearly like off of a truck or something, that exhaust, and they've strap welded it to the back.
Nice.
Hold it up, guys. Yeah, they sort of strap welded that to the back. Details like that, like where you can see like, oh yeah, like you can see that a Grot would think to do that or might try it.
It's also good because it highlights that thing that often a lot of Ork players don't really appreciate or talk about, which is that actually Grots are pretty good mechs. They're not as good as a mech, but they're not bad, because their principal role in society is that by the time the Orks have emerged from their spores, if it's a fresh Ork society, the Grots will have built the first mech town. Well, not the first mech town. I've had Gorkamorka in my head for too long. The first Ork town, the town, all the buildings, everything will be built by them. They build things. That's what they do. They're good at building.
But even the average Grot would be better than the average Ork.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they would be. No Ork could make that. A mech could, but
the mech's not built. The mech's
the mechs don't build anything.
He's not up there with a hammer. Yeah. He's like, right, you up there, you up there, you do this, you. Do
I mean, he probably
Grots like under him, doing all the actual graft.
He probably can and does from time to time, but he's probably more in the realm of making weapons.
He needs a whole troop of Grots to do the.
Yeah, he's got his clipboard and his high vis, and he's just barking out orders and that.
It's just this thought always sits in my head because I remember ages ago when I was on the forums, Grot riggers have often been an upgrade that you can get in games in editions of 40k, and like there was one time when they could fix an immobilize result back when you had different weapon damage results from better editions, and like somebody on one of the Ork forums went, the most ridiculous thing in 40k is the idea that a Grot could fix a moving vehicle, and I'm just like, an Ork couldn't. He's too fucking big, and also he didn't build it. A fucking Grot built it. The Grot is gonna have a better idea of what worky bits are doing what and where than even the mech probably does at the point at which it rolls out of the mech shop.
And you have to be very careful if you're talking about 40k and you start the sentence with the most ridiculous thing, because there's a lot of stuff to pick from there.
Very fair, very fair. Because like the thing is like, just I always get this, and it's always funny when it comes from Imperial players who go on about Ork stuff is stupid. It's a funny thing to make when the only faction in the entirety of 40k that has flyers that look like planes are being told that all of their technology is scrap and doesn't work. It's always funny, right? Particularly when you look at like the Imperial religion that is just, no, we can't tighten this screw and see what it does. It's got to be exactly as the specification says because the Omnisire decreed it, or Perez be the Omnisire. You know, it's just like their technology is a religion. The Ork technology doesn't.
So look more like they could work than Imperial ones, because Imperial ones, the way the tracks are and that, it couldn't work.
Yeah.
They wouldn't work. You know?
I'll tell you what can work and take us back on topic is my number 2 choice. Which is
don't call it a segue, because it's probably not a segue.
I am sticking to the theme. I have another Mega Dread. This one is from Cromlech's latest Orktober release lined up, and it is the Ork Mega Clanker. I don't have this fella yet, but I really want him. I like this guy. And
you didn't put a picture up of this one.
I did. I'm looking at it now. I'm looking at him. It was later on.
Oh God.
It's I don't think it's any secret.
Oh yeah, I found it.
I don't think it's any secret from those in the know that this was at least largely designed by Waz, who's like a lot of people watching this will know who he is on YouTube. I don't think that's a secret. And it's I think it was a joint effort. I think there were other designers that added details and things and stuff. But I love the big, bulky, fat look of this thing in the body. It's the one from Gear Guts is quite sort of slender, quite sort of upright, kind of like a mech suit sort of thing. This is very much going back the other way of a big, heavy, stompy, very ungraceful Death Dread type look, and I absolutely love it. I love the sort of rounded dome look on the head. The rattler cannon thing it's got looks savage as hell. I mean, I'm biased because I love anything that's Death Dread related, and this is just a big fuck off Death Dread, and he looks glorious, and I want him in my army, and one day I'll have him.
The Power Claw's got a little bit of an unfortunate Jeremy Beadle kind of.
That's posable though. That's
good,
just in the shot they've
because I would not pose it like that.
But you'll see, picture might be up on the screen now. There's a picture showing all the different components, and the claws are in different parts. So I think the claw is fully posable. You could have that open.
Oh, good.
It's got a lot of posability, this thing. And yeah, So yeah, you can have the claw open, reaching out and grabbing and stuff. So yeah.
Actually, it's not a big counterweight on the. Well, it's not its elbow, maybe, but it's got like a counterweight, a big block of rock, sort of like strapped onto the back of the claw. So I assume to give it more clout when it's.
It almost looks like it. Yeah, it almost looks like it's hard to tell from the shots, but it almost looks like it's connected to the pistons that operate the claw and open it up. And
yeah, you can see it on the bits. It's the far right sort of center, but I've seen that side of it painted up, and yeah, it's I've just never seen them like strapped.
Is it a counterweight or is it? Oh, actually, yeah. I can't see what you're on about.
Filming on my phone. Oh.
It's also got like it looks like a pulley as well.
I know the model.
I really like it because it's a nice, satisfying nod to Second Dead and Rogue Trader era Ork Dreads. And I always preferred the barrel dreads. I know they look stupid, internet. I know. Don't fucking care. Fight me.
I think that's the emphasis of what a Death Dread is. It is just a big barrel with arms and legs bolted on, isn't it? It's very, and I've always loved that look. I know a lot of designers and things and a lot of third-party things try and get away from that. Like I see a lot of stompers and things that are more done like alternative to GW stompers and gargants and whatnot, and they're very much done in a more of a mech suit style, more of a traditional kind of like almost an imperial looking thing. I've always loved the big fat waddling fucking. I love that. I from the early days when I was a young whippersnapper playing Epic, and I had my Epic stompers, and they were just big fat boxy looking things with a little head on top and a chainsaw, and I absolutely adore that. So it's the minute anything like
the old mega, the old stompers was great.
Waddling. I love that. I absolutely adore that design. Of orc walkers and gargants and stuff. I think awesome.
There is a slightly comedic way to the way that orc walkers often are. Like like for instance, like I mean, you still see them these days from time to time, and I've probably mentioned them before because I mean, how many episodes have we had now? I've lost count. But
23, including this one.
There was a trend for a while of the Mr. Potato Stomper.
Yeah, there was.
Use Mr. Potato Head as the base, and you'd cover it in plastic card. It's because Mouse Muffin did it, and it looked amazing, so everybody copied. But it was just a great way, and you had the big comedic metal boots that are rounded like these ones, and just used to get some awesomely cool looking things, and like
William Coon's got some good ones, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Bill.
But yeah, that's that. But that's my number 2 pick, and that is it for the Mega Dreads now. I've gone straight in with.
Unless someone else has picked Mega Dreads.
I'm just thinking. Is it?
I don't know. I had to remember what the other things I've picked now.
No, I think
viewers are keeping track of how many, like keeping tally of how many each third-party company gets nominated, how many times they get nominated.
Yeah, we need yeah. I'm just about to give my second RTLW mention.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, which is, I believe they're called in the part of the Iron Horde, the Nukas.
Oh yeah, the tank boss.
The basically the Mega Nodes. I mean, I'm going to be running them as Mega Nodes.
I've got them. Yeah,
I've got them up there. I haven't done anything with them yet, apart from marvelled at the Grot Gunner. I love their Grot Gunner on the Iron Boss, but the Grot Gunner on this fella
is way
is
better.
just superb.
Yeah.
I repeat my criticism from earlier, GW. There's another one. Seems the only people who can't do it are you.
It's the fact that he's got his feet up braced against the gun.
Yes. Yeah.
He's not standing on it. He's like, He
Yeah.
just looks manic, and he's got a little flying helmet on.
They've done the same thing with the.
That's seriously cool.
Superb.
It's a great pick, mate. I'm with you on the. I think these are gorgeous. Like everything RTLW does is of insane quality and like detail and just not all of it meshes to my taste a lot of the time. Not that I look at anything and think it's bad, but it's like it's really cool. Obviously, it's not to my preference. These, I fucking love them. I think they are stunning
because they're Black Moon as fuck.
They are. They really are.
To be honest, you can obviously they come with the claw and the shooter, and the shooter's got all the swap outs, you know, for flamers and rocket scorchers, and rockets with an eye, and more shooters and all that. But then you can replace the shooter with a kill saw, and part of the claw comes off, and a saw goes on. So you've got the paired kill saws.
Cool.
But it's hard to get the scale of them there because the bases are quite small. But if you can see, one of them's got a Space Marine under his boot, and it looks so tiny and pathetic.
See, I look at these. I personally would buy this set, and probably will do at some point, with the intention of using these as either Warboss in Mega Armor or Big Mechs in Mega Armor. Because I think compared, like I've got a load of the GW Mega Knobs, which I really like. These are obviously scaled up quite a bit from that, aren't they? But they've still got that same. They look like Mega Knobs. They're instantly recognizable as that. You know, it's got that same look and feel to it, but they're just a bit more dynamically posed, a lot more detailed, and just
instantly they're pretty much exactly the same size as the Cromlech ones as well.
Yeah,
I have got a feeling.
I think they may be a tad bigger, just slightly.
You can tell because they are overhanging those bases a lot. They're barely contained on them bases, aren't they?
What we like is overhang. Well, that's what I like. That's why my orcs are at 28 mils and 28 mils and staying there.
We are talking about Mega Knobs. I mean, we're only talking me and Steve the other day about the Mega Knobs, and like I admit, like, because Steve is a massive fan of that kit, aren't you, mate? But
I certainly am.
I love it. I think it's a great kit, but I do think that the bodies are just slightly too small. Because like if you even compare Mega Knobs to other GW knob sized bodies, like just the standard knobs kit or the flash kits, if you was to put armor on them, they would be bigger than them GW Mega Knobs. So that the knobs inside of that armor are smaller knobs than your average knob. So I do think that they could do with just like a 10 or 15% size increase.
Yeah,
if they could do that.
Oh God, I really wish I could reach the tinfoil hat from here, because right. So I'm going to accuse the modern GW range of complacency. Like, I honestly think that we've just got to a stagnant point with the direction of GW's own models, where they're phoning it in all the time. Like, and they've been doing it for years. I mean, the Mega Knobs that we have in plastic are just carbon bloody copies of the metal ones that we had from third. They're just the same. And sometimes I'm not saying this is entirely a bad thing, because range consistency is a really, really good thing, particularly in value for money. If you can't afford to upgrade straight away, mixing the two together is pretty good. But I mean, just look at the Deathcopters. The Deathcopters that we have now are no different to the ones from the Black Reach. I almost said Skull Pass. The Black Reach box set that they came in, right down to almost exactly the same options. The only thing they've done is they've added like one buzzsaw, and then they've added one potential custom Mega Blaster, so you can't have all of them with the same gun. And then a flipping Big Bomb has been stuck on one of them. And it's just like, well, you redid the kit. You could have completely changed the way the Deathcopters worked. It would have been really interesting to see what they could have done, because now they've got the technology to basically make Ork units do whatever, because Like, there's no restrictions on design like there was in the third ed era.
I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they didn't just stray too far away from that though, because I like I like the consistency and the range is good, and I always quite like it when they update. And I'm aware we're going wildly off topic again. I've been drawn into it, but they we will get back on track soon. Right? Cue Nick now.
Stay on target, boys.
But I always like it when a range is updated and it's made improvements or changes and tweaked it and stuff and things. But I like the fact that the old thing hasn't been completely like I putting the old Deathcopters on the table now, the Black Reach ones. They're going to tie in really well with them. And I mean, I plan. Because my Black Reach ones still aren't glued together, they're just still snap fitted together, so I can pull them all apart. And I plan to mesh those two kits together just to get a little bit more variety in the Black Reach ones, and because they look fairly. Certainly, the propeller blades will be just a straight swap, I think.
Yeah. Not to disagree, but because I partly agree with you, but I would say it's GW are not making this decision because it's consumer friendly. I mean, just look at the amount of shit that's in Legends. It's not coming back, right? It's not consumer friendly. That's not why they're doing it. It's just laziness.
I think it is because they listened. They heard enough people on YouTube saying, just bring back the Deathcopters, and on Facebook and stuff, just bring them back. Just bring the Black Reach ones back. They were good enough. We liked them. They were good. They're better than this shit metal one that we've got at the moment, the Ork Mega one. So that they did listen, I think. And I also think wrong about the GW's direction with Orks. I think I was only thinking the other night about it, like what they've done with the.
I'm glad Scar's not here to defend the Ork Mega Deathcopter.
I like it too.
He only says it to piss me off. I
like
can't
it
believe
too.
he really believes
Anyway,
that.
I think with the Ork range, what they're doing is like what they had done with the buggies is they made 6 new vehicles that you can't scratch build really, well you can kind of, but like. You know what I mean? They're very specific and they've got very specific names. And then with this next chance that they had, they've done the same thing. Like, I'm very grateful for a lot of the new models we got, but they did it with this beast snag thing where they're not just standard Orks. They're this new thing. They're this extra thing. And I really do fear for normal standard Ork units in like coming codexes, things that, you know, like anything that was like, with the big guns before, because they're such a generic thing, like a big gun or their artillery, they're either this or this. No, anyone can make that. We get rid of it. We make something that only we make, like with the mech guns, with the bubble chuckers and stuff like this.
I mean, that's partly because IP law's bullshit. I mean, let's face it, we're looking at a whole load of models now, trying to get back on topic. We're looking at a lot of models now that prove there's at least some method in GW's madness. My problem is that that's fine. But then, as a corporate company, don't pat yourself on the back about how brilliant you think you are when you are ultimately just letting the lawyers do the designing for you. When you're apparently smart enough, enough to give the consumers something out of it as well.
I'll pat you on the back when we see what your number 3 is. I'm trying, people.
I can't even remember what my number 3 is. What is my number 3? Hang on.
Sid, you've got to help me out here. Scar's usually the one that fucking keeps us reined in.
Is it actually my turn, by the way?
I believe so. Sid just does it. So, yeah. We're going round. We're going clockwise, aren't we?
So, surprise, surprise, I picked some Gretchen. So I kind of thought about what would I want and what would I like to do in terms of Grots, because I'm quite fussy when it comes to Gretchen. I don't like Cromlex, and I don't really like quite an awful lot of the ones that are out there. There are some that are excellent, like I really like the Wargame exclusive ones, and some of the other ones that are out there are really freaking good. But I like these for a particular reason. So these are Nightmare Games' Gretchen.
Oh, those are cool.
And these are metal casts, making a fucking stand for metal models, right? They are metal casts. I'll need to check, but I think these are sculpted by the Kev Adams, who did most of the full-fed fantasy range and quite a lot of the early. I think he was responsible for a lot of the early Rogue Trader Ork stuff. But I mean, I don't know my era. Sid's more likely to know that than me. But but these are very, very second ed style Gretchen. They fit really well in with the second ed grots. They're a bit more incoherent, but there was a great unit from Freebooters, the Freebooters Rogue, the third Rogue Trader Ork book, which featured the Freebooters army lists, called Gretchen Bandits. Just a ragtag group of Gretchen that live on fringes, and they just attack whoever turns up and just steal their shit. And they get to be quite fearsome because it's grots that manage to get away with being aggressive, so they would fit quite well in with current law. And these guys just fit the bill. And I've been planning to make old school, new school 40k army using freebooters as the vector for doing that. And this was a case where I didn't have to convert the models. I don't have to sculpt out models. I just buy these buggers and they're perfect.
I've never seen these before, and when you shared them, when you put the picture on the thing, I was instantly zooming in on the images. I'm looking at them now, and yeah, I totally see a lot of that early Rogue Trader second edition. Even with there's the one at the back who's got the shoulder pads with the sort of quilted look of the thing, and it's got that, and the horned helmets and everything, but it's not. But they're detailed. They've got that sort of old school kind of feel and look to them, but also kind of sort of modernized with the detail and stuff. And I think they're fucking lovely, mate. I was really taken with these. Very characterful. Each one's an individual character in his own right. Yeah, they look fucking mint. Yeah. Really cool.
They're under the mantle of space goblins, of course. And oh god, I'm gonna have to get a Euro.
We will share while Dim's looking for that, people. We will in the description of this video down below, we will have links to every company mentioned. So you can click on the links and go and check some of these third-party companies out, because hopefully we're bringing attention to you of maybe some companies you've never heard of. I know we've talked about the big ones like RTL and Cromlech and stuff quite a lot, but like this, for example, I never seen these before, and
I buy a lot from Nightmare.
I will be checking it out.
I've got a bag full of metal swag. They are more useful for our Warhammer fantasy playing friends, really. But yeah, by the way, these are indeed sculpted by Kev Adams. I checked. But Kev Adams has sculpted a whole load of orcs and goblins for Nightmare. It's principally what they do. They've just done some totally not squigs. They're freaking amazing as well. They've only just come out. They got kickstarted. So they're, what are they called? The Nash's Herd. And they are, again, like 9, 10 squigs, and they're all different. They all look different. One of them has googly eyes and a wig.
Yeah, 9 or 10 metal squigs.
Yeah, and there's also quite a big one. They're a bit on the pricey side.
Go on,
it's metal, isn't it? So
yeah, because the grots are about $32.50.
Yeah.
Which actually, thinking about it, it's not
too bad.
Not too bad when you compare it to GW prices, anyway.
And metal is expensive at the moment. And metal is an expensive thing, so you are paying the price for that. And yeah, it's not for everyone, but I think a lot of people who, when you've got a metal miniature in your hand, it's that weighty.
You feel like you're holding something.
It feels substantial, doesn't it? It feels like you've got something that's
those
valuable.
Little grots. There's more than one of them. There's at least 3 of them, which put us in mind. I don't know if anybody even remembers this. Of Fenella the Kettle Witch out of Chorlton and the Wheelies.
All right.
It was a kids' program. It used to scare the bejesus out of us when I was a bairn.
The ringing bells. You're gonna have to send me a link after this.
There was a witch. Used to, I'll get you, you stupid dragon! Just scare at the ground and reanimate, and anyway, that looks like a couple of those grots in the middle.
Yeah, they've got a kind of a creepy look to them, haven't they? Some of them have got a very sort of a labyrinth feel. There's one with the sort of German helmet one. He's got a very sort of labyrinth feel to him, and I like the one that almost looks like the leader at the front. He's got the spiked helmet on top. He's also got the 2 horns coming up at the side, and Yeah, they look like a ragtag bunch of bandits. They really do, and I love the sort of they're nostalgic without actually being old. You know.
Well,
Cool.
I'm going to follow on from Dim in a way, in him talking about customizing his grots and making them the way he wants them to be. My next pick is actually something that really fits my Ork Army theme, and probably a lot of other people's too, because who isn't trying to make Mad Max orcs at the end of the day? The Scrapper Ork heads and the rest of the Scrappers range, and the Fury Road shoulder pads and the rest of the Fury Road range, basically from Hardcore Minis.
I'm glad someone mentioned these.
Yeah, I've got these, the heads anyway, and they're dead. And the shoulder pads, actually, I've got both of those because they're just too good to not get. I was like, no, I've got to have them. And I've made a bunch of truck boys that are very much Mad Maxy themed, but I haven't used those new bits yet. So I'm itching to make another couple of squads. That's why I can't wait to get what I've got painted so I can get on with them, because they're unbelievable bits and bobs. Like some of them hats and stuff like that, they're just so characterful. Like they're exactly what I think of as sort of, you know, your scrap heap orcs, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think loads of companies, like you say, the Mad Max theme, like the pirate theme is big amongst a lot of folk. The Mad Max theme, for obvious reasons, is fantastic orcs, and loads of companies are doing those. And I think probably, I don't think it's controversial to say, I think nobody's doing it as good as these guys in that area. Like, yeah, these are.
I've used one here actually on Git Stomper. I changed him up and made him into a flash git, but I've actually used one of their shoulder pads on his shoulder.
Yeah,
cool.
Okay.
I wanted to mention. I wanted these to get mentioned for a number of reasons. There's an awful lot to unpick here if we want to go into it. But I think the first thing to say is that, like, this is the counterpoint to. I mean, if GW does go the whole hog and goes monopose boys, it doesn't matter so long as Hardcore still sells these. Because this is fully posable boys.
Yeah, you can buy all the bits. The torsos and the legs are fantastic. The big beefy lads and all. The heads are great. I love the shoulder pads, or especially with bits of tires.
Yeah,
like just all the bolts in it. They just look fantastic. And any Ork with goggles on, as far as I'm concerned, an absolute winner. Yeah.
It's good to actually get some with goggles, because I mean, I'm not terrible at sculpting goggles. This is one of the things I used to add quite a lot to my grots from time to time, because it's like grot riggers are often depicted in artwork with goggles. But it's good to find that you've got people with actual design talent who can make really good looking ones.
And green stuff. If you're anything like Dread, these fit so well in your Evil Sons army. They really do. They just spot if you want to, you know, get us. If you want to get your speed war going.
And if you're talented with using brown paint, you can even do skid marks too.
What my army has always been is actually right at the moment pure top of their Ork meta. To be fair, freebooter speed mob. That's what I've been building for the last 10, 15 years.
Sorry, Dread, we're getting a message. We're getting a message. It's time for my number 3, apparently. So we've got to move on. So, what am I going to do? Well, number three. Well, I'll tell you what. Since we're sort of going on a bit more of the, I will scroll down to the next one. Since we're going on a bit more of a bits tangent, this was a difficult one for me because I had to mention the company, because it is my personal favourite third-party bits company. It's For Fun Miniatures. However, the company is pretty much a one-man. Well, it is a one-man operation as far as I'm aware. But he creates some of the best Ork bits. We're talking heads, torsos, arms, legs, shoulder pads, etc. And with just incredible quality resin that you take out the bag. There's very occasionally they're attached to like a little sort of sprue bit, and you've got to clean that bit off. There's literally no cleanup required. You just take them out and you glue them together, and they look stunning. They're crisp, highly detailed. But in the rules of this, I couldn't just mentioned ago, we were meant to be picking out our favourite miniatures, so it was really hard, particularly because of him being a one-man operation. He is out of stock of many items at the moment, and currently on the site at the time of recording this, there is no pictures up. There's nothing, because he's taken them all down while he's restocking, and then the pictures will go back up. So he's not going out of business or anything, I think. But I have one here. Sid will know this one well as well.
That one.
Yeah.
Now, this is converted, so it's not all for fun mini parts. The torso you're seeing here, that chainsaw arm and the legs are all from For Fun Mini. And this was the Ash from the Evil Dead Ork, the Evil Dead Ork. Yes, baby, yeah. And he comes with his chainsaw. He comes with his boomstick. Shop smart, shop smart. It's got, and for the moment I saw it, like I was just like, oh hell yes, that is just sexy as fuck. It's so cool. Now I've changed the head and bits because this is my commando knob that I'm working on. But the knob parts, just as a brand, the knob parts, like legs, are so good. Torsos that you can pose, because the GW knobs, I really like them. I've got loads of them, but they're all like one part, body and legs all attached, unlike the Ork boys or the old Ork boys. These are done in that sort of style, and he does loads of boy scale parts and loads of knob scale parts, and just so many bits and so many good bits. He's got like Ork knobs smoking cigars with big shooters slung over their shoulders. He's got a knob that's got a power claw for a foot, that when I got that, it's like really intricate. The power claw is like in 4 different components to like build this power claw clamping onto the rock. You've got one that's got a peg leg, but the peg leg is a barrel from a shooter. So if you've seen Planet Terror, there's an Ork that can fling his leg out and go and like spit out the dacker. It's just, and when I got the stuff at a very reasonable price, like really good price, I was blown away by the quality. And no disrespect to any of the other third parties mentioned, because some of them are equally on that par, but disrespect shown to Forge World and GW's Finecast. I won't apologize for that, because when I got this stuff, I'm like, why can't everyone do this? Because I don't know about you at home, but I don't find it fun cleaning up miniatures. I don't find it fun removing mold lines. I don't find it fun having to wash the things and, you know, repair things. That when you just get some stuff and you pour it out the bag, they come in little baggies. So you've got your little plastic crack and a little baggie, you know, you're ready for have a good time. You tip them out onto your desk and you're like, they're just stunning. You can just get to the fun bit, building them and kit bashing them together with all the other bits.
Especially when you, it's especially not fun when you're paying boutique for it.
Indeed.
I will admit that of all of the third parties that we're mentioning, and we have said that a lot of them have got really good resin, and we've just Forge World and GW, but I do think that of all of them, and I've got stuff from all of these different third parties, I do think For Fun's resin is probably the best.
They're up there, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's really good resin.
I can't vouch for RTLW because I haven't actually purchased any yet, but I know that's really high quality as well.
RTL, Hardcore and For Fun, I'll put them all in the same bracket. I've never had any problems. They're all perfect as far as I've in my experience with them. But that's not so good. I don't want to sort of like, this is like my favourite ones, not me ones I've got problems with, so I'm not going to go into that. But those ones are all fantastic. And what I love about the For Fun stuff is he generally does like a boys and a knob section.
Yes.
You have the same parts in, slightly different scale. So if you want them for knobs, you're a bit bigger, go for knobs. If you want, you know, when you put a knob head on a boy torso and he's like a muckle nut running around like somebody out with Disney World or something, you can avoid that.
There's just a selection of some knob heads there. I mean, look at the detail on them. It's just stunning. It's so crisp. And literally that bit where you clip them off the little peg, that's the only little bit you're going to have to just tidy up a bit where you've clipped him off. Otherwise, there's not a blemish on these. They're faultless. You just clip them off, stick them straight on.
That I've used on that kit stomper actually.
Probably, yeah. I've got a whole look. This is how much I love them. I've got loads in here. I mean, it's only a small little box, but there is so much goodness packed in here. I've got bloody Fucking, there's a whole load of bag of knob parts there, you know, bag of knobs. There you go. But yeah,
I love the hands he does though. For
yes,
for adding a little bit of character. Like I've got a knob that's just sitting there. He's got a power claw hanging by his side. Now, if he was holding a shooter or something, it'd be fine. But just because he's doing that, every game we play, I always put him just in cover, just sticking out the window. Me mate, I was like, there he is. He takes a little photo.
There's
Just give him the finger from it's mint.
Some boy scale. So these are, I've got all these in knob scale, but these are boy scale as well. The same heads, just shrunk down a bit. And he shows them all the pictures on the website as well when they're back up. Are shown against a ruler, so you can see the measurements and everything, and it's all clearly defined of where it is. And it takes a while to come in the post because it's long distance postage and stuff. And
this is what you can
postage. But
this is what you can usually expect from companies that aren't GW. Like it's just it's a standard. Yeah, it's a standard throughout the. Yeah, really good. You get that a lot. There's some crazy good one man band companies. Yeah. Like I mean, granted,
you got to
they don't do. They don't do anything for orcs, but like Kurasan has got some amazing stuff, like just whole loads of stuff. But I think he's like me. I think he's got OCD because he just like just indulges a project, half bakes it, moves on to the next thing, and like all the models are amazing, but they don't get any development. But like I've bought resin from him, and it's from Kurasan, and it's really good. The best resin I've had is probably hassle-free resin, but it's resin master. It's called the Resin Masters range, and fucking hell do you pay for it? It's pricey. It's like 3 times the cost of the metal models that you can get of the same sculpt. But it is Kev White, who is probably one of the best sculptors in the industry. So the hassle-free are quite nice, but pricey.
I was just before we move on with Sid's next choice as well, I just want to say about the arms that For Fun do as well. They come where, you know, like the GW arms have a flat bit where it's designed to stick to the boy's torso. The arms come with the full sort of ball join of the muscular bit, and then it's up to you just to file that down. But so it gives you the option. So if there's an arm like this, you can put it like that, or you can be like that, or it can be, you know, like that, whatever. You file it down, so you choose exactly how it attaches to the boy's torso. So it's giving you that best of both worlds sort of thing, of almost like a ball and socket joint. It's such a clever design thing, you know.
If we do end up having a body that actually has got the socket, you know,
we slot straight in,
go straight in, you know, it's like, it's so clever in that way.
A lot of these third-party bits are all sort of compatible as well. I've smashed like For Fun with Hardcore with Puppets War.
This fella here, he's got GW, For Fun, and Cromlech
together. Yeah, but you can do all that. Like Dim touched on it before. If there is a kind of, you know, the finger bones connected to the foot, and that's just it. You know, you've got one bit. If it's all monopose, then you've still got options out there if you want to just put them together. I've done a squad of boys not long ago with third-party bits, and it was fun.
Yeah,
you know, put them
it
together.
Is so much
what
fun.
What am I going to do? Oh, give this. Oh, he's going to have a big commandos and boys. It would really enjoy this.
I don't. If there's anything, sorry.
Go on, Dib. You go first.
I was just going to say, if there's anything this third-party special, whatever you want to call it, episode is going to show, it's that if GW doesn't cater for it, the fan base will speak and they'll do it. And like the one thing I'm kind of thinking is that if this keeps going the way it is, where we get like some nice toys from Games Workshop and then we get some nice niche things from other companies, I'm happy with that. It's a good world that we live in. And with STLs and things, it's only going to get better. There's something out there for everybody.
I've got a flash kit made of third-party parts from 7 different companies on one flash kit.
Yeah, it's always called a mishmash stuff together like that. But I've never had more fun making stuff than when I'm making tank busters and commandos. And you got the bits. So I've got a load of GW sprues. I've got a load of third-party bits from Cromlech and For Fun and wherever else, like Max Mini and loads of different places. And you just got them all in the pot. You're like, right, let's find a body, right? Oh, that head looks cool with that. And the character of this orc starts coming alive in your head. So now you start thinking about posing, all right, what is he doing? What's he? And you can really get, and that is what the new GW kits are failing at miserably. The particular culprit is that new boys kit. The new boys kit is. Don't get me wrong. A lot of these, the Beast Snagger boys, I've built a few of them now, and these really nice looking mini. I really do like the Beast Snaggers, and I think the knobs in those new boys kit look really nice. They're a big improvement over the knob that was in the old boys kit. That wasn't a proper knob. He had like this short little stumpy legs and that. But my God, they're boring to build. It's like I've never thought I'd reach the point where I found building a miniature less fun than painting it. Some people love painting. I don't really enjoy painting, but it's that you've made building the miniatures just so unfun. I have to keep stopping. I have to clip the very specific parts off, look at the instructions. I have to look at the fucking instructions. It's just not fun. It looks good once you've done it. Like, it's a nice looking mini. It looks cool. But it's not fun. It's not fun to build like that. And I think people that maybe have not had some of them older kits where it's just legs, torso, heads, arms that go. You get to put your, even if you're not kit bashing, even if you're not using third-party parts, you're still putting your personalization, because you're choosing what head goes with what torso. You're posing it where you want, and you're adding a bit of yourself to it, and you're having fun, and you're getting creative.
The main draw of the hobby
is the hobby. It's creativity, isn't it? That's what we want, presumably, a lot of us anyway.
It is it's never fun going in dry. Never fun needing to go in dry. It's just
who's next?
It's
me. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
So for my fourth pick of my favorite mini, I've picked 10 minis. Just you've got to keep getting bigger, haven't you? It's the hardcore minis tank hunters.
Oh, they're amazing.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'd not really seen these, because I was picking.
No, I didn't know they existed either.
I was picking my 5 last, so I was sort of I'll get one because I want them all kept in order, on the list. So it was a lot of like, you had to pick that, I'd have picked that, I'd have picked that. But I had to dig a little bit deeper for some of them. And I'd seen the RTLW tank hunters. I thought they're not bad, but I saw these and I thought, oh my God, they're mint. The only downside of them is the fact that I do love putting together tank hunters, like Steve mentioned before, tank hunters, commandos, that sort of.
That's the one downside to these, isn't it?
So this is like, it's all done for you.
Be any clan as well, though. They look like they would fit well painted as any of the clans.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. There's no sort of. I mean, I've opened up the image there so I can see it full size here, and when you see them up close, there's just so much character to them. Even character, if you want to use the full word.
I particularly like the one with the flat top helmet.
Yes. Do you know what it's like? It's
cool.
He's got a KFC bucket for a helmet.
Yeah.
We've all done it.
I was thinking sort of Magneto style. Like,
There's just, and it's got all the different, I mean, the round-headed rockets and kneeling. I love the one who's kneeling. Yeah.
The one with the skull, skull faceplate. Very, it's very reminiscent of the recent GW Kill Team. One of the ones in there, he's got that sort of skull-faced sort of helmet that's running along with his rocket launcher. That looks really cool as well.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I just saw them. I thought they're fantastic. Considering that I've never been a fan of the official.
No one is.
Not good. Never wanted to get it. Built my own tank buster.
Nice bomb squigs in that kit. The bomb squigs are the saving grace in that.
They do have more models. Hardcore, that is. They have got their own versions of the bomb squigs and the tank hunters, as they're called, with the rocket hammers.
Nice.
But I thought, let's not take the piss and my fourth pick is 25. And putting a whole load in here. So I'll just stick with the ones with the actual rocket launchers. But yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know what kind of you know, if they come in like 4 parts, 5 parts, 6 parts.
Well, it looks like you've got.
I haven't got these yet.
I've noticed that I've noticed you've got the two on the picture. You've got the 2 rows of them, and it looks like I can see like duplicates of the legs and stuff. But obviously, these are designed to be interchangeable because I see the one guy that's got it propped up on his shoulder about to shoot, and then the guy that doing that.
Yeah, I've just noticed the same.
I can see the legs are the same, and so you've got the kneeling legs, but it looks like you've got that interchangeability between it to swap the heads and the bits around and stuff, which, and it shows as well. But this shows that actually people who defend GW and they go, well, I know we've lost the modularity and stuff, but we've got much more like dynamic posing and stuff now. Well, look, here's proof. You can do both. Yeah. Who would have thought it?
The runners.
Ding, 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 ding.
The running one.
Checkmate, atheists.
It's the same. It's the same running legs, but yeah, one of them's just sort of tucked under one arm, one free, holding. Yeah. Looks like the torsos and legs come as one piece.
So it looks like, Sid, although we said the one negative point about this was that you have so much fun kit bashing and doing it. Hey, looks like you still can with these.
You've got a bit of,
there you go. So there is no downside to these. They're just fucking awesome.
That's awesome, yeah.
If only I hadn't already built 25 of them. Maybe I need some more.
You're a bad man. You can always have more.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't done like a. I mean, I presume you probably can't. Are they still heavy support? That's how long since I've used tank busters. Or are they elite?
They're elites. They're elites.
So you could do a tank buster army. Get on it, bitch.
Could do nothing but rockets. Yeah. Do you know what?
Every unit has rockets.
Yeah.
Rocket cans, rocket drop tanks. Rocket.
Come at me, Primaris. Come at me.
Rocket tank
flat 3 damage all round.
Everything in my army's damage free. Fucking eat it.
Don't tempt me, Frodo.
But you must.
Go on, Dread.
It's Dim, isn't it?
No, it's Dim. Sorry, Dim. Go on, Dim.
Right. Well, what did I do for my 4th? Got the memory of a dead goldfish. Yeah. So I've picked a couple of things here. But a lot of these choices are kind of like, some of them are sort of practical, but this is the practical one. So I wanted to give these a mention, partly because the first image I'm going to talk about is something that I'm the root cause of. So I'm the reason these exist. But these are from Foxbox, and these are Ork beer kegs. Many, many moons ago, too long ago, I had it upon myself that I wanted to do a updated Brewhouse Bash, which was a free mini game that GW put in a White Dwarf. There was a time when GW used to put fun mini games in their White Dwarfs with like cool little games. You know, good old days. And back in my day, where's my walking stick gone? But I commissioned Morgan Fox of Foxbox to make me some like accoutrement for the game, because I was going to do it with 3D. So I wanted like bottles and stuff. I just largely just wanted bottles, some broken, and some stools. And I couldn't be bothered to make it myself. And I knew that I was, because I mean, my background, I know I get a reputation as a bit of a sculptor and a scratch builder, but really I'm a kit basher at heart. So, and you'll see that in the coming months, that I'm a kit basher more than anything.
More on that later.
Morgan, just / Ben, used to go by Ben more, just excelled himself and did loads, way more than I asked for. He did like a slab of meat, plates, all sorts of stuff. There's loads of it, and I've got paint on a fair bit of it, but the thing that really stood out to me was the beer kegs. I said, oh, that beer keg's cracking. And he's like, yeah, I like it so much, and put it on the site and I'm going to sell it. So he made those into a full-blown kit. and they are just fantastic for all sorts of reasons. Not least because they're a nice orky jerry can.
Yeah.
Now, I honestly think that, like, I mean, it doesn't do it too much, but Morgan's like principally like just a really, really good producer of very, very useful accessories. He's got great grot tanks, as Dread's already mentioned. But like there's the Black Thumb tool sets are just really, really useful if you're looking for a bit of decoration to go on your orky vehicles. They're really, really good.
Add to the tool belt of your big mech.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Morgan still has his site going, but he's got pretty much all of his range getting printed off on Ramshackle games. Anyway, Curtis from Ramshackle currently has them, as he's got with some. Yeah, that one. Which is very, very Metal Slug.
Yeah,
look at the tracks.
Cool. Yeah,
look at the tracks. I've got that somewhere as well. I've got quite a few of them.
Nice.
It's just a fantastic little kit, and yeah, I just wanted to give these a mention because I think they're really, really good and useful. I've used them quite a lot. By the way, some orc things look a bit big. They're a bit sort of small to use on orcs, but they're a cracking size for grots at the very least. Morgan is principally aims a lot of his stuff at the Gorkamorka trade because Gorkamorka is Mr. Gorkamorka. He's behind the community. He's behind the community edition of Gorkamorka that's cropping up. He's the principal guy behind Tugs, which is the unnamed Gorkamorka site. Give that a plug. Oh, yeah. And just these are a lot of his stuff is designed for Gorkamorka players in mind.
Does some cool engine
stuff,
doesn't he?
Oh yeah, loads of cool
engines
stuff.
And things like that.
It's a load of really good bits.
Often overlooked by a lot of people that are new to the hobby and that because they hear of these bigger name ones that come out with just, WoW models, which, we're looking at some WoW models, but the bits, Foxbox is great.
Yeah. And as soon as we just I mentioned Ramshackle briefly, I was contemplating adding it to my 5. In the end, I went with something else because I didn't think anyone else was going to mention the company that
I don't
Dread
think
mentioned.
anyone else has picked them, have they? But they definitely get an honourable mention.
But like Ramshackle is just a very, very orky range, particularly because you can buy a large proportion of the vehicle parts separately, including the tracks, like what Steve was holding up. Yeah. Just loads and loads and loads of like really, really cool bits. And he's got I can't remember what it's called, but there's whoever's entering will throw up a picture. He's got a very nice like spleen ripper. It's a spleen ripper. Oh yeah. It's a bit small for a spleen ripper, but it's still a freaking spleen ripper. And I mean, I've got them in there, but it's in the middle.
Just showing up loads of random ramshackle bits.
Yeah, I mean,
even the bits, like it's worth checking out the site fully as well, like not just the orc bits, because
oh no, definitely
stuff that he does for like Necromunda human gangs and stuff like that, and rock breakers. I'm not sure what he calls it, but he's
a great place to look for grot tanks, and they're not called grot tanks. They're little tanks, but they're
the Liger tank is, I think, the best one in terms of scale. I've got it somewhere. I've got a load of ramshackle wheels here, all sorts of stuff.
Really cheap.
Got them for a rainy. Got them
for really cheap.
Best customer service I ever dealt with too.
Yeah, really good. Really good.
I mean,
requires a bit of cleanup and stuff.
Yeah.
But you are getting bargain basement prices of some really cool bits that can add some.
Pretty much get what you pay for, and also just as a little note, like early days when we were doing this, I think it must have been like episode 2 or 3. Like I was a little critical of some ramshackle stuff. I was a little critical of the Gasland set because I was a little unimpressed. And he just took it on the chin, contacted me directly, and thanked me for the feedback. And just like, if that doesn't tell you who's the right kind of person in the industry, I don't know what does really. But like, I love ramshackle stuff. I wanted to include something, but there's just so much good shit out there that us picking just 5 does not cover it.
No,
I'm
it
glad
doesn't.
you mentioned the customer service like that as well, because like people that like to thank you for some like constructive criticism and stuff is good. It's really good. Yeah, the customer is.
He basically he was sending me out a bunch of stuff. I'd like paid for a few bits, and he was going to give me a load of freebies. And basically, he sent my order to Germany, and some German fella's order to me. And so I got the wrong order. So he not only sent me out my order again, but by way of a sort of like, oh, well, you know, you've been inconvenienced, he let me keep the other order. And presumably did the same thing for the German fella too. So like, just ended up with extra stuff, but it's all really cool stuff as well.
Nice.
It's very good range of stuff. And again, very Ork.
You got Dread?
Next.
All right. Now, talking of like big fuck off models, right? Is the Cromlech. So that's another mention of Cromlech, anyone that's counting. It's my first one. Tiger Wagon. Mine is not finished yet, but it's coming along. It's nerdy there. But I absolutely adored this. As soon as I saw it, I was like, ah, yes, I have to have it, because it's very definitely looks like a Tiger tank. You know, you can tell, like, you know, it is a Tiger, but it also very definitely is Orky. Like, you look at it and go, no, that's definitely an Ork tank though as well. So it's just perfect for me in that regard. Like, it's the best of both worlds. There is a couple of downsides to it though. Being big chunks of resin, and because resin takes a little while to cool and stuff, there is a little bit, and not everyone's going to experience it, but there's a little bit of warpage issues that I had anyway, whereby it comes as this back part and the front part, and you have to join it along here. I did have to fill quite a gap in the middle, and also there's like a roof bit that goes on that the viewers will be able to see in the pictures.
That can be an issue with some like longer resin stuff. I mean, yeah.
Fit, like, it was so warped it wouldn't fit, and I was just like, you know what, forget it, I'm not going to use it, I'm going to have it all open backed anyway. So, but apart from that, like, I mean, I've magnetized it as well, so you can change the turrets off. That turret coincidentally is perfect to swap out for Grop tanks, and you can put Grop tank turrets on there just as easy as well.
Is this the one that's become a bit of a running thing of every October it's a limited run and then it sells out? Is it that one?
Yeah.
Magnetize the RAM as well, so you can put they do a death roller you can get for it too. There's loads again, when you're talking about options actually coming with things from Cromlech. This comes with not just the one long cannon that I've started painting up there, but it's got a shorter cannon. It's got a lobber, it's got a zap gun, it's got big shooters, it's got loads of options and blanking plates for all the different places where you can put the guns as well. So I really like it. I mean, it's as well, it's one of the few models that I haven't converted for the same reason probably as the Cromlech Dakka Jet, is that it just is so busy with detail already that you really wouldn't want to add too much. But unlike the Dakka Jet, so I was trying to decide between the two models, because I've also got the Cromlech Dakka Jet, and I really like that too. But I didn't pick that. I picked the Tiger tank because the Tiger tank I would get again, and I wouldn't get that again because it's so detailed that with the paint scheme I would do in that, it wouldn't be very different. Whereas with the Tiger tank, I could do it and do it, black with, checks, and I could do different paint schemes with it and it would work fine. I could go hard top, or I could, convert it up a little bit. So yeah, I think the Cromlech Tiger tank is a top pick
if you can get one.
bit of a wrangle from me, because I don't like anything in this industry that is limited edition. I really dislike that. I mean, it's one thing to give away a limited thing with an order as an inducement, but when it's a model that you can buy and it's a limited amount, I generally dislike it. I'm guessing, considering the warpage, that it's a casting problem and they can only afford to do limited runs, because I don't really think that Cromlech would really make a habit of that unless there was some practical issue. It's not like Games Workshop where they're trying to
I'd expect
artificially create scarcity.
Spend and all the rest. It's heavy. It's a big chunk of resin at the end of the day. So,
because I mean, you can get that if a thing's a pig to cast, there's going to come a point where its production costs are going to exceed its use. It's a thing that is it Andy Forster or Andy Foster? I think it's Andy Foster of Heresy Miniatures, which is another cool little company. Doesn't really do anything orky, but it's got some nice stuff, some very characterful pieces and things like that, and some amazing not Delac gangers. And he did a resin dragon, and he initially thought it would be easy, made an amazing sculpt, and then came to casting it, and people waited years to get a cast. Like, so yeah. And in the end, he's like, right, I'm doing. In the end, when he cast it, he did 2 runs of it. And it's like, I'm doing 2 runs. That's it. Forget about anything else after that. And
I think we're saying there's a big lump as well. Like with the calling process, you probably do end up having lots of seriously warped ones that you can't sell. So there's probably a lot of waste, I reckon. Right, Steve-O.
My number 4. I'll stick on the Cromlech journey because it's this fella.
Cromlech's done well out of us, hasn't it?
It certainly has. I couldn't not pick Norzilla as my little baby is.
I almost picked this.
You both have one. It's so annoying.
I just had to. Now, as you can see, he's in the early stages of painting, but this is one of the many reasons I like him, because you can see he's got checks on there. It's got the dags on there. It's got glyphs and stuff already on there, which makes it so easy to paint and add all the details. It's all moderate, comes off nice. He comes with all the options that the Squigoff used to have, but it still has the one that it does have, the cannon. I just love him. I absolutely love him. I love his short little stubby tail. He looks like a happy, excited puppy. And yeah, I don't know, just he's a big, solid fucking weight of it. You wouldn't want to fucking lob this across the room and catch a shot from this to the head, I tell you. But yeah, I adore him. I absolutely love him. I think he's cute and savage and nasty looking and just awesome. I vision this guy excitedly waggling his tail when the Warboss comes along and like just defecating and urinating like an excitable puppy, you know. I think he's got almost like an innocence to him. I just love him. I absolutely love him. And I've always really liked the Forge World one. I've always loved the Forge World Squigoff, and I was always determined to get one. I think I do slightly prefer this one. There's not much in it because they're both really cool. But yeah,
for me, hands down better. Hands down better.
Yeah, by the way, I will give a plug there. Check out Dim's video on Squigoffs. You will not find a more
easily concise, opposite of concise, a less concise
video comparing Squigoffs.
If you want to know everything there is to know about Squigoffs, check out Dim's video. Like seriously,
you'll not find a longer video comparing the two.
But it's like, I mean, just I've got another one as well. It's not, but this isn't out yet. But this one is an early prototype. But this fella's coming soon. This is Bob.
Clickbait.
Clickbait Bob. Oh, that ruffled some feathers, didn't it? I was only having a laugh, people. Fucking hell.
Not any major feathers.
Hey, yeah. But yeah, this is Bob. Like, he's quite a big fella, as you can see. He's hench as fuck. But yeah.
Oh yeah, lovely.
But yeah, this is a very early prototype, so he's going to be looking quite a bit better than this when he does.
By the way, just as an aside, right? The comparison video is easily my most successful video, and it's the one I put the least amount of effort into, and it fucks me off every single time I look at my stats and go, for fuck's sake.
It's a fantastic video.
I just know I'm in this for the wrong reasons, because when I do like mercenary GW stuff, it does well, and when I do the things I want to do, just fucking everybody ignores it. And,
you still dished out plenty of salt. Don't worry about that.
Oh yeah, well no, it was. Yeah, it was a good video. It was a good video.
Detail.
Yeah.
That's what you get with me. It's detail. But yeah, that is
detail.
that is the best. That is the best model barring on the nozzle. It's just so much better. And the cool thing is, yes, it's pictured with a base. It does not need the base to stand on it. Don't put the fucking base on it. Fuck's sake. And also, GW, learn. Like, look, right. We understand that vehicles are probably going to go on bases from now on, right? But be consistent. Everything should be on a base now, right?
Yeah.
Don't just have some things that can stand on its own, not have them, tanks. And then some things that can stand on their own that have got bases, buggies. You know, like, I mean, yeah, I know the buggies were flogged on the basis of some stupid gimmick game that you've already forgotten existed. But, you know, like...
I'm still considering putting trucks on bases.
Yeah.
Still,
No.
I haven't decided yet, but the idea's there. I'm like,
I'm even with like the tanks and stuff like that. I'm going to put magnets in underneath, and I'm going to magnetize them onto bases, and then for transport, I can put them in the magnet cases and transport them around and have the bases.
I'm surprised they haven't already, because I think Games Workshop would absolutely love to bankrupt the vast majority of their fanboys who are stupid enough to buy those texture packs. You know, all of the bases that they're going to have to do that is just going to be like a whole load of paint and sand and 2 connection points for the fucking vehicle.
That'll be £75, please.
I'll be getting gullible.
I'll get down here if they do that.
I did buy a base like that, a big oval base from the Ork Mega tank I done, and then sort of just because I wanted to stick a little. What was them kids out there? The Titanic called Jack and Kate.
Kate. Yeah. No, it's not Kate.
Whatever.
It's not Jill either.
Kate Winslet played her.
Rose. Yeah, I wanted to do a puddle on the base just with a door on it, and one of them sort of lying on the door, and one of them sort of half in the water. And I thought, bollocks, so I didn't bother. Yeah. I've got no sort of consistency with what I put on bases, to be fair.
So Sid, you're number 5.
Last one.
5. Do you know what? Problems. I've had so many problems because there's a couple of things which differ that I wanted to go with from the picture I put in the list there. So I don't know if we're allowed honourable mentions.
Oh, do it.
Go for it.
Right. When you were talking about ramshackle stuff, I've recently put an order in at Zinj Industries.
Zinj are amazing.
I done it Friday. They arrived today. It was £2 delivery, so straight away, tick, tick, tick. And the stuff, still got the box here. I mean, there were like a couple of quid, spent about 20 quid, and I've got like tracks, big old wheels.
Oh, nice.
Massive flat gun, which might be appearing on something at some point soon. You never know. Steampunk style tracks.
Oh, I like them.
I've got them. Yeah.
Cool.
But they were like, £2 or £3.
You can get like a grot bomb launcher as well.
The Orky guns.
Yeah, so they're fantastic. I didn't know about these really at the time though. But they're
have to pop a link to them down in there as well, won't we?
Zinj have the best wheel selection. Barring none.
Really good.
Anything.
Hub packs for them all as well.
Nice.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention was it's not really the company who make it. I'm not 100%. It might be actually. I'm not 100% certain. But there's a website in Russia called soldark.ru. I've used a number of times.
Yeah.
For me, they're dirt cheap, and I still stand by. I think this is the box of them here. Ignore the noise. It's just sound effects. Nothing actually fell. Yeah, there we go. They're little.
Yeah.
What I use is a grot gun proxy. There's one. I've put a shield on the front. These are just like work in progress ones. And there's one I stuck some tracks on from a different model I got there. £3 each.
So cool.
Sorry, $3 each. So
nice.
Do you know what I mean? You're talking £2 odd for the price of one of them. You can get like 10 of them.
Yeah.
And just with your bits box, you can customize them so they're different. And if you've got a mech gun kit or a Wasbomb blaster jet, you've got all the different sort of like, you know, the gun barrels you can just stick on them. It says something that I've got 4 mech guns finished. I only ever bought 1 GW mech gun, and that's in my box of, yeah, I'll finish that one day. And the other 4 are all, you know, these £3 technology.
It really says something about the 6-7 mech guns, like just the fact that when they came out, it was like, buy this £30 box for 1 gun, which in your army is 30 points. And it's just
one of the
stupid.
It's so cheap and effective in the game, and yet it's so expensive. It's £1 a point. There's not many, you know, if you're paying £9 per orc, you'd be sort of like, oh Jesus. But yeah,
I love that kit though. I do love that kit.
I like the kit. I like the kit.
It's got some great parts in it.
It's a great kit, and it's a great basis for kit bashing other mech guns. That's the way I see it. But I wanted to mention those 2 anyway. Before the final one, which was another RTLW. See where I've went, RTL something else, RTL something else, you know. And it was it still is the Rock band. It's the Ork Rock band. I know there's been a few of these out. A lot of people have done like the little sort of goth rocker type things, but the RTLW one, I just think they've absolutely nailed it. I don't have it yet. I'm definitely getting it, because they're going to be the crew of a scratch built kill rig.
Nice.
The singer in the War Tower, the 2, you know, bassist guitarists, they'll be the chopper lads at the side, and the drums and the keyboardist can be operating somehow. You know, you hit the cymbal, it turns the harpoon. You hit the snare, fires, you know, and I just think just a big rolling stage with those crew in it.
Very Fury Road sort of thing,
pulled by either some massive engine or possibly a big squig. I'll be spot on. I think there's lots of them. Like you look at, obviously the bassist or the guitarist, he looks like Slash from Guns N' Roses. It's just, I don't know what's been done, but I just Flamahar.
Just a thought, but Hawkwind, they had like they had some kind of like stupid sound device that they used to shoot at their audience that made like high pitched noises. It could make people have epileptic fits. Did you use that at concerts?
Like real life noise marines.
Yeah.
Fucking
Hawkwind were bonkers.
They were called Hawkwind.
Yeah, Hawkwind. They got really pissed off because they had that one hit called Silver Machine.
Silver Machine, yeah.
Yeah, and they got really upset that it was a hit. Partly because it was a hit, and also partly because the newbie sung the song, and they just chucked him up to sing it, thinking, "Oh, he can't sing anyway. What's he going to amount to?" It was only fucking Lemmy from Motorhead.
Yeah.
And after they had the hit, I can't remember what it got to. I don't think it was #1, but it was like it did well in the charts, and they fucking kicked him out of the band. Bastards. Well, yeah, they were fucking mental, Hawkwind.
He landed on his feet, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he did. I just wish he'd gone with. I wish he'd been able to have his original name for his band, though, because originally we were going to call him. It was Bastard, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We were going to call him Bastards.
See, I have got them Cromlech, the Cromlech band. But yeah, I mean I like them a lot, the Cromlech band, and I've got the stage. And I'm going to do with it what Gar was doing, you know, make it sort of musical and lights and stuff like that, you know. I was basically going to be asking him for his fucking blueprints, but yeah.
Well, that's settled then. When you and Sid do a battle report one day, you've got to feature both your bands and do Battle of the Bands.
Battle of the Bands.
Totally.
I want these RTL band members, you know, because they are.
No, you've got yours. You've got yours. You've got the other one.
There's a lot of really good, honestly good Ork goth rockers. And a lot of them fit quite nicely with the original models. I've been working on an Ork band for a long time, and I snap up any of them. I didn't know these existed, so I'm getting them. But the Wargames Exclusive got some nice ones. There's like one that's like jumping through the air, and then there's another one that's got like a guitar that's an axe, literally an axe.
Yeah.
And like there's one that's like has like a flamethrower guitar and stuff like that.
I thought you'd do a grot band, Dim.
Well, I do
Like
have
S Club 7 or something.
Yeah,
I
like a
do-
boy band.
Well,
like
actually,
NSYNC or
funny,
something.
funny,
you know?
funny you mention it because I was making members for the rock band for the rock band, and I made basically an Ozzy Osbourne lead singer from the current Weird Boy kit, and I've kit bashed and green stuffed up. I've got an Angus Young grot. So like in a little schoolboy outfit, doing a duck walk with an SG I made from plasticard, and I'll try and dig the model out and take a picture. But it's not finished yet because it's like I always get distracted. But Wargame Exclusive got some nice ones. Armorcast has had a really nice orc with a guitar on their site for the longest bloody time. It's probably still there. And and obviously the Cromlech ones, which Dread's already mentioned. There's a whole load of them. These
I don't know if the other ones have got the options, but these have got some options you can sort of swap out for them as well. Like,
sweet.
Remember the lead singer with he's giving it the horns and that, because you've got an empty holster. So on his belt, he's got his shooter on his belt. There's an empty one where he's holding a shooter in his hand. Oh, there's a power claw option as well, which is probably doing something like that.
Well, it's probably doing devil horns, just like
the. And the drummer's got like a stick of dynamite and a stick bomb that he's drumming with, and that. And it's just all these little extra sort of touches you can.
I have to say, it's not the only one that exists, but that's the best drum kit one I've seen. Back in the day when I was still doing sort of fan rules for 40k, when I still did that, I came up with a Mad Boys codex that I was working on that no one would have ever played because every single unit had a random effects chart. And I loved it. And I also had random effects chart weapon vehicle upgrades as well. And then I had two for the I did a band unit, so the rock band I fitted into the Mad Boys thing, and they could just basically make you, like, if you rolled wrongly or rightly, depending on how you wanted it, you changed the behavior of every single unit. So basically, if you took Mad Boys, you were just rolling on charts all the time. And I made rules for all of the guns as weapons, kind of like Noise Marines. And at the time, I was like, how the fuck am I going to make a drum kit? And I was always struggling with the idea of how I was going to do it because I never felt like I could do it justice. But I mean, now you don't need to. There's companies that are starting to do actual, like, all members of the band, not just ones with fucking guitars. Like, you're getting some nice variety. And I have to say, I still maintain, I think this is a great alternative for flash kits. If you don't think flash kits would normally fit your army, this is a way to get them in. Because I would say they're great for flash kits. Because the property of a snaz gun, I think, fits quite well. Although I think you could use these as almost anything. Or commandos even, maybe, with the additional commando options that we have now. Oh my god, I said more options in context of a recent GW unit. That's a fucking first. But yeah.
Sneaky, like, you know, pay no attention to the band, they're just setting up.
But I would love to see someone basically make either a kill rig. I think a kill rig fits better these days. I think Sid's onto a winner here, but like a battle wagon or a kill rig that is just a moving stage.
Yeah.
Just Sid, make sure when you do that you put a little Bluetooth speaker in there.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was just about to say.
Yeah.
And then you can...
Oh, that's one other member of the band that I forgot to mention. I've got the Rogue Trader Slanesh Noise Marine, the one with the hair, you know, the one that got redone a couple of years ago. I've got the original one, just in the band. He's just, nobody's noticed. He's just there.
He's the support band. Support.
Yeah. Non-orc models that I do want is that Noise Marine. I think it's just looks like a right joy to paint.
It's every time I've seen them painted, they've done like different colours all over in different parts of the arm, like leopard skin, like thigh bits, and
I'm thinking
zebra stripes and that. It's like, oh, how weird.
I'm thinking when I painted, I think it's almost certainly going to be Starchild from Kiss kind of colour scheme. I think. Not that I'm very good with freehand, but I'll give it a go.
What's your number 5, Dim?
Right, my number 5.
whatever bit.
I didn't actually really order these, but right, okay. So I've kind of got two things. I'll just do a couple of. I was going to do a couple of honorary mentions, but we've more or less covered it, really. But I really do love obviously the Cromlech band was one of the things I was going to mention. I forgot Sid's number 5, so we've already kind of covered it. And I think that's probably and Zinj was one of the things I was like, I really wanted to fit it in, but I haven't really bought other than wheels, but I've never used the wheels. So
nice to have them though, isn't it?
And Puppetoir's got some nice bits and pieces as well. But this, I was thinking that these would probably end up being, well, my honorary mention is probably pretty much just that, not Spleen Ripper from Ramshackle. But I was thinking that, I want to mention these because these are one of the things I bought a while ago. But thinking to myself, oh shit, I can't recommend these anymore. But this is kind of a wild card because I've picked 2 pictures in particular I'm going to talk about. But I just wanted to put out there where it all started for me with third party and Orks. It's Max Mini, just Max Mini full stop. Not anything in particular. Their site is back up. You can actually buy stuff. That for a while they were kind of out of the game. They dropped out, but they did Ork stuff for Ork players before everybody else did it. They were there before Cromlech. They were there before, it was Cromlech, and then that was it. That was all. And now we've got and Spellcrow, to be fair, Spellcrow. Oh, I think Noseminer did a lot of the sculpting for Spellcrow. Oh, yeah. But I think so. And those 3 like the old ones, and they've been there for ages. And Spellcrow and Cromlech never really went away, where Max Mini didn't. It's a massive shame. It demonstrates why. This is kind of like a showcase of the things that you used to be able to get for Orks mostly, which was heads. Yeah. And this is a bee in my bonnet that I really, really want to have, is that the thing that most disappoints me about the design of Orks that GW does, and it's been I'm not saying it's a new problem of the new thing. It's always been a problem. Even when Brian Nelson was sculpting them, it was the same thing. Orks have 2 expressions. Or that's it. They're either whining or they're frowning. That's it. That's their expressions. And this is for the faction that is the most distinct, most unique.
I am screenshotting that expression. I'm going to use that on a thumbnail one day. 100%. That is brilliant. That's like the classic YouTuber thumbnail, isn't it? Like, you won't believe these prices.
Photoshop FAP opportunity provided.
I've got one of the heads. I've got one of the heads here.
I've got one of the heads here.
This was gifted to me by one of my subscribers. He built this up and painted it. He's a fucking badass looking dude. The body is from a different thing, I think, a different company. I actually have this body bit, but he used that head on it, and you can see like just how fucking awesome that head is, with the exhausts coming out of his own Barnick bonts and everything.
Oh, it is that one. I thought it was that one.
Lovely painted as well, beautiful. Yeah. And he sits up on my desk.
The cyborg heads that Max Mini do, which is the main ones that I'm kind of pointing to, but also I've got like I also threw up the flyboy heads as well, because they're really cool. But like these just highlight that we should have had cyborgs by now. Like
Warboss scale heads as well. Very hard to come by. Everyone's doing boys and knobs. Not many people are doing
GW don't even do Warboss scale heads.
Not many.
Yeah, well we've had a downgrade really. But I think I think, to be honest, the people behind the current Orks, they are First Ed and Second Ed fanboys. I think they're kind of trying to pretend that Third Ed didn't exist, to be honest, with the direction it's going, which is mixed feelings for me. I love a lot of the Second Ed and Third Ed stuff. Second Ed and First Ed stuff, like the designs, the aesthetics. A lot of it really pangs with me, but at the same time, it's just like, we've got to keep this Orks grow thing, particularly considering Forge World and fucking Black Library have took to fucking town. You've got to. Particularly with the stupid 60-foot fucking croc shit that you've got in one of the books. You know, we've got to stick with that. And it's just like Warbosses should be monsters, and we've not really had that. We don't really have that. But it's also like expressions. Just like I was just thinking about it the other day. Like if you look at an awful lot of the artwork in sort of the Rogue Trader books, I mean, it's kind of quaint and twee now, some of it, but they're very, very expressive, and there's all the expressions you could expect. And it's just like orcs are one of the few things in the 40k universe that is allowed to have fun. Like they have Razes, which are fun fairs where the orcs turn up, and one of the main ways that they have a fun fair is they've kind of got like, you know, those sort of carousels, but they're rockets on chains. Orcs have those, but they don't have the rockets. What they do is they attach the chain around the neck of the orc and then swing them around. They fucking love it. And like orcs love stuff like that, because that's why the cult speed exists, because orcs just get ridiculous adrenaline rushes. And
you don't want to be a grot when orcs decide to play a game of swing ball.
I mean, that's one of the things I think is really missing from, like, I mean, I say that. I think the first thing to book this trend is probably the orc buggies, the new buggies. It's one of the things I really like about them, is that they've got orcs with different expressions. There's a nice variety. More like that, please. Like, less of the monopause shit. We can do away with monopause, but that kind of aesthetic, fucking damn. Sure. And I just think Max Mini just encapsulates just some of the cool shit that you can get out there in third party.
The head with the jaw and the exhaust is just so good.
Yeah, I used that many moons ago when I made a friend an actual cyborg knob unit, and I had like a huge Warboss that I used that head for.
I've been saving that head forever. You know, I'm so good. Not this one.
I used it on the you know, the Savage Orc Warboss, the one from Fantasy. I used it on that because it matched the posing matched the head quite well.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I definitely changed up the arms a bit, but like the running at your shoulder barging almost kind of thing with the huge fuck off axe. I definitely went with that kind of thing of a crazy Rory thing, and see Dread just go.
Dread he's excited. He wants to do it.
Do it, mate. I want to see it.
Well, my number 5 is what I consider to be the best orc miniature by any model company. I think it is literally. As soon as I saw it, I was like, yes, that's everything I love about orcs encapsulated in a miniature. It's just amazing. It is the RTLW Iron Rider. I'm fortunate enough to own one.
Also known as what the Deathkiller Wartrike should have been. Yes,
the great thing is you can use it as a Deathkiller Wartrike, or you can use it as a Warboss on bike. You know.
Yeah.
So, it does look like, you know, it does come with a few options. So like I'm just running it with a normal claw, but the claw is as such that it looks like, because there's like a little cog inside of the claw, you could easily say like a part of it detaches and comes out to be the chain thing, the retrievey thing.
Oh, so you can do the snarf buzzsaw.
Yeah, but there is also a hook on a chain that comes with it too, so you could fashion something with that anyway that looks really cool.
To do the
there's 3 heads.
Snagger claw, I think it's called.
There's 3 heads. 2 of them are basically the same, but just built up differently. You can see they're basically the same pose. I've gone for one that looks like he's got like goggles and plus also a bionic eye. It sort of looks like he's wearing glasses, and so I sort of thought, well, as he's going to probably be the Warboss, he'd be sort of the me. And I know I ain't got dreads anymore, but I wanted him to have dreads because obviously I'm called Dread. So I've given. No, he's not. I'll throw up a picture. Yeah, I'll give him a picture to throw up. But I've not finished him yet. But he's going to be leading this army that I'm painting at the moment, so I've got to get a move on him. But yeah, it's a kit that's got quite a few options. You know, like I say, with the heads and stuff like that. But it's also got, like you were saying about the RTLW Grot Gunners. it also has a very, very cool grot gunner that you actually noticed on someone else's conversion and really liked, actually, Steve. So yeah, it's got that. But what I've opted to do on the back of my bike actually is there was a hole there where that part goes in with the grot gun on it, but I've put magnets in it and I've green stuffed over it and sanded it down. So I'm going to be able to have options to build different platforms on the back depending on what I want to count. But yeah, it's just fucking awesome. It's
just RTLW knocking it out of the ballpark again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Big chunky ass wheels. Oh, the one thing I will say actually is hubcap.
Big wheels.
There's supposed to be a couple of hubcaps. I got one, so I can't use one. Don't want a hubcap on one wheel and not the other. It'd be silly. So yeah.
Absolutely
get on RTL, probably.
I think
I see loads of cars like that out my window. Right?
Yeah. I think they're used to losing the odd hubcap here and there.
Yeah.
No, I'd be the same. I couldn't cope with it either, even though it is quite bulky.
But yeah, contact them. I'm sure they'll send it to you and sort that out quickly.
I think a while ago when I was looking through the RTL stuff, there was with the Ork range. Some of it was pretty much hitty missy. Some of it was really good, like you say the Iron Boss and that. But then the Commando, I really like the Commandos, but I know a lot of people go, they're too erect.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't even looking there, so I wouldn't know. But there was no like gorilla butt sticking out in that, and there was a fella that done with a big sort of with another hand there, hammer, which I wasn't too struck on. But recently, it's just been hit after hit after hit. Everything's just blown my mind. Yeah.
There's so many great details on this. There's just so many good bits, like the wheels, the little horns in the front, the guns sticking out the front,
and the cogs and everything.
That amazing sort of medallion that's on the Warboss, that's like an evil sun face, perfect for Dread's army.
I saved it off actually. Gone.
Only because he's casting loads of them. He's got some parties.
They're all
making
gonna have
molds
one.
for him. He's
you
all
like
get
big Jim.
medallions.
I know Jim will fix it. Make a big
The parts. Like, we were saying about RTLW's resin being really good. Well, this is a multi-part kit. It's not just a Ork or a Mega Node. This is a multi-part kit, but it all goes together beautifully. Like there was, I think about 6 to 8 little bits to cut off. That was it. Like literally, that was it. Nothing really to file down and stuff like that. Just cut these little tabs off.
Just get on with having fun.
Yeah, and you could basically dry build it as well, and it was sort of hold together, kind of.
Nice.
So you could get a feel. Yeah. So lovely kit, really nice.
Good shit. Good pick. I knew someone would pick that one. It was just it was bound to happen, wasn't it? So we've just got one left, haven't we? My last one. It is. So this miniature has had a bit of a strange history in companies because I had a bit of trouble tracking images of him down because he's changed. I don't know for things I haven't kept up with the history of the companies and that, but I got him from Greenskin Brothers. Then he was available at Mad Doc Labs, which I think was a rebranding of Greenskin Brothers or a part of it, or it was part. And now he's on Wargame Exclusive's website where you can buy him. And it is the Ork Weird Boss. Anyone that watches my channel would have seen him on my channel. He's featured in most battle reports and I've done videos on him. I just think he's we've discussed on this very channel and this very show in the past my dislike of certain parts of the GW Weird Boy. Again, I'm glad Scar's not here on this one. Dim is, however, so I'm sure he'll fill in. But yeah, this is my favourite Weird Boy miniature that's out there.
Have you seen RTL's one? That's fucking
I have.
Yeah.
I love it.
I've got the RTL one. Yeah,
I do like it, but just
the chin grot on this one is so good, though. It's just so good.
Well, at least it's failcast. It probably won't be dead straight.
it's all warped into a perfect arc.
Yeah. But no, I love this guy.
Oh, you sound just like my dad.
I love his weird boy staff with the sort of the skeleton over the staff. I love his bulging eye that he's got, like one eye bulging out and the tongue hanging out the mouth. And yeah, he's got some really nice details, some really good like feral sort of witch doctor-y style trinkets and stuff. And I see Weird Boys as that, the sort of the witch doctor in the tribe, the sort of the shaman type figure. And yeah, he just, when I saw him, he fit perfect and an absolute joy to paint. I find painting a real chore. I'm not a confident painter. I take ages doing it. That's why it's been such slow progress getting any of my stuff painted. But I sat and painted this guy, and he was just a joy to paint, partly because I'm just painting one miniature, but he was just, I don't know what it was about him. He's just really fun to paint, and I'm really pleased with the paint job I've done on him. And he is one of my favourite miniatures out of my whole army. I just really, really like this guy.
Does the one with the top hat, or the not really a top hat?
Yes, yeah.
Hat, you know?
I know the one you mean. Yeah, and he's got the cane and stuff, and he looks a bit sort of Fagin-esque, doesn't he? From like Oliver sort of thing. He's got. Yeah.
This model demonstrates Steve O's closet snake bite in him.
Yeah,
quite strongly,
it does.
To be honest.
It definitely, yes, definitely.
Needs to hurry up and make us spit off snake bites while he's got the chance. To be honest.
But yeah, no, he's definitely got that feel, and the hands on this guy as well. His hand that's not holding the staff, different, the fingers, the detail, and the nails and everything. He's just a really nicely detailed. Which what I will say, I don't know if it's because the changing. I don't know if it's different. He was very brittle when I was building him, and he did require some cleanup. But my God, I snapped off one of his fingers and it went flying. And how the fuck I found it, because it's literally like the size of a grain of dust. But I managed to find it and repair it, and But yeah, very, very brittle. So in the cleanup, I would, if anyone does get this miniature, and it is still like that, be very careful with the cleanup.
I wonder
it's very
if
brittle resin.
I wonder if maybe it's been improved, because if it's gone to
possible
Wargame Exclusive, they are probably casting it now.
Yeah, so yeah, that's very possible.
Wargame Exclusive resin is very crisp.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if it was stronger this time.
So yeah, I'd imagine that would be the case. The only thing I don't like about him, when it's painted, I think, because he was part of a range that the Greenskin Brothers were very nautical. Again, everything was very piratey. And that base you see him on, when it was on their site showing as painted, that base is meant to be like waves crashing. It was all, and I was like, when I got that, I was like, threw that to one side and just put him on a normal base and everything, and did that. But that's down to personal preference. You know?
To be fair, you could paint them as rocks.
You could. You definitely could. And I'll tell you what as well, and I probably won't get them in trouble now because they obviously don't exist anymore or whatever, but that base, when I turned it over, underneath it said GW like 2003 or something on it. So they'd obviously been recasted GW bases to make their own. So I was like, oh, that's a bit naughty, isn't it? But yeah, no, I love him. I love him, and he's a great character, really characterful weird boy that I absolutely love. He's hench as fuck as well. He's quite big, you know. He's a big boy. He's cool. But yeah,
I never get away with these nautical themed orcs. I do sometimes wonder whether or not it's just because I happen to know that there was a fashion trend in the 90s for a little while for wearing nautical themed clothes, and it was called nautique. Right, and ever since, fucking hated it on principle.
Well, there we go.
Sid's reaction to that is like, fucking what are you on about?
Thanks, guys. Tune in
me before.
Well, there you go. There you go. There is our top 5 picks there. Thank you, Sid, for joining us. on this, 5-ish. Yeah, so 20-ish.
I think I clocked in about 28.
Yeah. But hopefully, guys, like, please, like, this show's not finished yet, because we do have an announcement to make. But just bringing this segment to a close. Hopefully it's just brought out to you, out of the community. You've seen some stuff that you haven't seen before. Some of your favorites I have no doubt have been picked. But yeah, hopefully we've brought to your attention some miniatures and some companies and some bits that you were previously unaware of. And if we've done that, then we've done our job. Because I think
it wasn't just Artel and Cromlech, just mostly.
Yeah, just mostly. But yeah, Dim's it worked that there's like no matter what Games Workshop do, it's regardless of whether you're a massive fanboy of GW or dim level hatred of GW, wherever on that spectrum you on that scale you are, I don't think there's been a better time to be an Ork player and collector and hobbyist. And next year it'll be even better, because this stuff's coming out all the time, and it doesn't matter if GW bring out their kit, you're like, oh, that's shit, what have they done to that? There's 20 alternatives out there, probably more. So like, you can just go crazy, and there's just so much good stuff out there.
What we should
lonely up here on this pedestal.
We should challenge the viewers to, in the comments below, just list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what their 5 picks for their favourite third-party miniatures.
Yeah, and share with us any companies we haven't mentioned. Share it all. I believe as well, it'd be good to mention this. I believe our resident Mad Doc on the Discord, has he not shared on the Discord a thing that just lists?
Yeah, there is a section in the Discord that just
massive list.
Here's some cool stuff.
Yeah. So there's stuff out there to go and find all this stuff, and just go and explore the stuff, explore Kickstarters and Patreons and things like that. And all the 3D printing companies out there, and there's loads of like people just starting out in the 3D printing world as well. The Pale Ork deserves a mention. He's just started that journey, and he's already created
some fantastic little sort of like grot tanks and mech guns and stuff like that. Yeah,
his grot tanks and mech guns are amazing. They're on point, and they're very, very brilliantly priced because it's STLs. And you can print off as many of them as you want.
I wouldn't say they're brilliantly priced. I think he's robbing himself.
He is. Yeah.
They're in Australian dollars, so when you transfer it over to the UK, it's like, literally just over £1 or £2 for some of the things. It's like, it's nothing.
Yeah.
One of his customers did mention that he was a bit overpriced as well, which was laughable. Yeah, genuinely.
Fucking joke. And also the other thing to mention is that he, like, literally the first thing that he made, like, as an STL, was one of those grot tanks that he's selling. Like, he just took to it like a duck to water.
Yeah, it's just instant cool stuff on it. Instant.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Some cool,
I'm not surprised to saw
Tau crossover stuff as well, and he like Orky take on drones and shit, which is really cool as well.
It's worth mentioning before we close up. If you're on a budget, take a look at Thingiverse. Or like go on to like a search engine like Yeggy.com, YEGGI.com, and you can set the search engine to just look at free stuff, and there's a load of free things that you can get. I mean, obviously, some of it probably will end up getting nuked by Games Workshop, but even if you don't go the Patreon route, you don't look at people like Mr. Modular Ork and all of those ones, there's a lot of things for any taste, and at the very least, you'll find an awful lot of the Patreon stuff and the stuff that's on My Mini Factory that you can either support the Patreon or buy separately. And there's a whole load of it there. And because it's 3D print, if you got yourself a 3D printer, you can print it off. And if you drop it and break it, or you lose it, or it gets stolen, you just print another one off.
We do have an announcement, though, don't we?
We certainly do. We certainly do, which will segue beautifully into our next episode, right?
No, not that.
Oh, okay. Well, what else have we got?
The extending the Warbosses. We are no longer but 4. we are but 6 because our 2 honorary guests that have been filling the show whenever any one of us is having too much life stuff going on, are going to be taking a more regular role. So there's going to be 6 of us swapping around. So
Take a guess.
Yeah.
I would say this is somewhat bad optics to do it so soon because they did win last month, but this has got nothing to do with it. I mean, they were obviously going to win anyway, but like, yeah.
I didn't think that actually. I just, like, oh, yeah.
Of course you fucking didn't.
We know.
Did we win these places? Is that what it was?
It's important to mention as well that the winners of that competition last month, and if you haven't watched it yet, going back on last month's episode.
Hashtag spoilers.
What a fucking good episode that was.
And more crucially, why haven't you? Actually, you
Yeah,
probably
It was
have
a really
gone
good watch, to be fair.
Actually, you probably
Yeah,
have
somebody-
going from the viewing figures.
The outside.
But yeah,
Really
it's important to mention that there was no prize. There was no prize other than
It's just bragging rights.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't announce it. Now there you go. They've got it.
Yeah.
I collected the tokens on the back of my cornflakes to get here. I'll have you know.
But yes, yeah, that's right, Dread.
No, well, that was for
We
Tazzles.
are not 4 Warbosses anymore. We are
6
Warbosses. We have been joined on a more permanent basis by Sydney, the Drunken Ork, and Clint from Essex Boys. The Odd Boys are now joining the Warbosses.
The Ward Bros.
Basically, we need more people that actually still like Skims Workshop. So it bounces out me.
Yeah, because I've been getting lonely. I've been outnumbered. Now it's like a triple tag team going on now, isn't it?
Oh, I didn't sign up for that.
We are
Corky.
we're the cult of Slanesh now.
Well, okay then.
But yes, so viewers, over the coming months, you're going to see us rotate round. So you know,
And maybe
rotate
even
round and mix round.
maybe even the odd episode where there's 6 of us, although that is quite terrifying in terms of potential interruptions.
The next episode,
but if we kick Dread out, it'll be fine.
You test the water.
So nice
I really
segue
don't
there,
think I'm the
Dim,
worst one. I really don't.
because next episode, if all goes according to plan, you will see all 6 of the Warbosses together, because it is time to announce we had such a good time looking at the community challenges and all the stuff we did. We wanted to do our own challenge, so we are doing a Squigbuggy challenge. Now, some of you that have been watching the show and participating in voting on the Facebook group will remember that many bad moons
Ages ago.
you voted, the community voted, which of the buggies do you want the Warbosses to convert and kit bash? And you voted overwhelmingly in favour of the Squigbuggy. Now, at the time,
It was shit.
The shit
it was it was shit. And the irony is, we've waited until it's the new hotness to go, nah, we're going to turn it into something else. So
the
If you ever had any doubts as to whether we were casual or tournament,
yeah,
just got your answer.
we're gonna take the new hotness and turn it into something that's
Because when I'm done with it, it's definitely not going to be a Squigbuggy. I don't even know if it's going to be fucking Codex legal. I haven't decided yet.
I already know that you're building something 2nd edition. Like, I just know it. And more power to you. So, what is the Squigbuggy challenge? I hear you ask at home. Well, it's very simple. The 6 of us are going to take this kit, the Rocker Truck Squigbuggy kit, and we are going to build something else out of it. Now, the rules are, there's only really one rule. It cannot end life as a Squigbuggy. It has to end life as something else. We can use our bits boxes, we can mash it with other kits, we can use third-party bits, some of which you may have seen on this very episode. We can do whatever the hell we want. The only thing we can't build out of this is the Squigbuggy. and it's going to be very interesting to see what we all come up with.
I'm just going to throw away the plastic inside the box and use the cardboard of the box to build something. That's totally original.
Just do a squig to your Iron Rider or something and go. There you go.
But yeah, we've got a month basically. We've got a month, 6 of us, to build whatever our imaginations, whatever we want to build out of it. And we're going to come back to you with 6, hopefully, very different creations out of this one kit to show you what can be achieved with kit bashing and stuff. And then you guys are going to have the chance afterwards we'll put it on the Facebook group, and you guys will have the chance to vote of which of the 6 Warbosses creations is your favourite.
Who's the best? That's what you mean.
Yeah. There you can feel the competitiveness from Dread already, can't you?
What is your favourite? No, which one's the best, mate?
Whose is the best?
You get an extra 10 points for having it painted.
Fuck off, no. I've only just learned, viewers, that I've only got a month to do this. I'm supposed to be painting.
Now, Dread, to be fair, fucker, you have been breaking the rules just like me, and I think a little bit Sid.
No.
We may have already just started because my box is empty because I've already started.
I picked the bits out. That's about it. I mean, I ain't really. I've glued the wheels on.
There you go. So you've already started. You've got a head start. You got a head start of Dim and Scar. There you go. I think Scar hasn't even broken the cellophane off his yet.
Poor
old Clint. Yeah, he's waiting for it to come in the post, isn't he? But yeah, mine arrived in the post, and I just couldn't wait. I just started.
It would still be in the box, but I accidentally crushed the box, so now they're spruing a thing. It's been sitting in a bits box along with actually most of the other buggies for a day when I could be bothered to make them into something that I like.
But yeah, guys, like we had such a good time doing the community challenge thing. You guys are really receptive to last month's episode. We hope you've enjoyed this one just as much, and we've found a part of the hobby and the thing that we all agree on, that we all love doing, is looking at third-party stuff, kit bashing stuff, scratch building stuff, and converting stuff. It's the hobby. It's that part of it that
no.
we all love.
You can simplify it even more.
What we've been preaching, isn't it? Focusing on what we love in the hobby.
It's being an Ork player. Because I still think the zenith of the wargaming hobby, barring none, is Orks. And if it wasn't for Orks existing, I don't think we'd have as many games that are built around conversion as exist. I think Orks are pretty much necessary in that. And for some reason, some of that is entirely by accident, because part of what made Orks the converters they were was because in Third Ed, they didn't have any vehicles for us. So they were just like, make your own, steal them. And from that, it's become a part of our culture, and it will always be there, which is why we're fucking doing this.
Also, another important reason that me and Dread got together, we were like, how the fuck are we going to make Dim happy on these videos?
No, they won't let me talk about law because I talk too much.
But I'll tell you what, man.
Here at all.
What we know we're up against some stiff competition already, because it was already a four-way race.
I know
the stuff that you could do.
Now I've got 2 really tough competitors.
You're a fucking clear winner. What are you talking about?
It's nice that the other 5 think that they're going to take part as well. It's just like,
mate, I'm taking you to the cleaners, mate. I'm looking down at this creation already. It's already looking.
We haven't got this. We need to get this Warboss attitude. You see, we're just doing it for the fun. You know
what
I mean?
Wheels do I want to use?
If we win, we'll win. Sorry, when we win, we'll win. I mean, if what?
The same, mate. But he ruffles my feathers, mate.
It's not worth it, man. It's not worth it.
He struck in with this air of superiority.
To be fair,
feeling when you know you're
screw on his head.
Out to do, and then ruffle Steve-O's feathers, and I'd do it.
I mean, to be fair, you might as well have a feather boa because it's very fucking easy to ruffle your feathers.
Anyway, yeah. As long as I beat Steve-O, it's all that matters, really. But probably come top when I go.
I'll do the school teacher bit here. It won't matter who wins. We'll all end up with a cool creation. We'll all be winners.
Everyone's a winner.
Everyone is a winner. But yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Who's making the participation badges from Plasticard then?
Not me. I'm going to.
Oh, don't do the thing. Pin.
Too fucking busy, frantically trying to get this done in time, you know, because I share Dread's terror at like shit. You've only got a month to do this in.
This was entirely your decision. You've made a rod for your own pissing back.
I know, but I'm up for the challenge. Come on, bring it on.
Not.
Plenty of time. It's going to be awesome.
Only reason we've only got a month and we ain't got like gone and announced it and gone, oh, do you know what? We're going to announce it and we're going to do it for May. So, it's because then I'd have time to Plasticard and then I'll definitely task. You know? Just like Dread won't be able to do anything in that time. He'd have to kick back.
Well, luckily, Dread, it's going to be the community voting on it and not you. So it's not actually a sure thing that you're going to win.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm sure you will believe yours is the best. I'm sure that you will believe. And more power to you. But no, it's going to be awesome. So yeah, definitely, you're not going to want to miss that one, guys. You are not going to want to miss it. You are going to see what we've been judging you. We're inviting you to come and judge us. It's only fair.
The judge has become the judges. Nice.
And then they'll go, we're never letting these fuckers judge again. They can't fucking look. They couldn't even fucking finish them. They got the nerve to fucking judge us. No, I am going to finish it. I'm not necessarily going to paint it, but I'm going to finish the conversion. But we'll see. I might get some paint on it. But yeah, there we go. There's not much more to say, is there really? Check the links below, hit the like button, share in the comments. Are you happy about the Odd Boys joining us? Share your comments. Yeah, what do you feel about that?
Do you hate it?
Do you hate it? If so, let us know below.
Focus fucker.
It's all right. Dread's still refusing to go widescreen. He's still in like 1990s 4:3 ratio TV there. Look.
Maybe next month I'll have enough money to buy a dongle for the internet, eh? But I needed lunch this month. I've got like literally about £6 left till Friday, so you know.
Dread, is the computer fixed though?
Yeah.
Yes.
1
out of 2 win, but
Dread's poor. Get on his buy me a coffee. Throw him a freaking bone. Toss him a few teeth. It won't go towards the channel. It'll go towards his dinner. Well, there you go, guys. It wasn't even me hosting.
Like
this
some
one,
channels,
I just
that was
took
a
over
joke.
hosting duties. It's Dread. Dim, it was supposed to be you hosting, wasn't it? I just totally took over. I've done it again.
Yeah.
I've done it again.
We're used to
it. I'm sorry.
We're used to it. So, oh no, it's taken too long. I need to take over and.
Well, Scar wasn't here to keep us on track, was he?
Oh, well, do you know what? Everyone say bye-byes then. Everyone do their little special goodbye. How about we do that bit?
This is 6+ signing out.
Take care.
Oh, you're going to have to work on that, mate.
Yeah.
I'll think of some of it. I'll get something better.
Yeah, for next time, yeah. Otherwise, you know.
Up the cigarette, lickety split. Nobody
Right,
under the age of 30 is not going to have a fucking clue what that's about. Anyway, bye.
Enough said from Dread.
Learn from our mistakes.
Good show. Well,
Actually, hold that thought because I desperately need a slash.
we're literally just about to tie it all up as well.
Have you filled that bottle already? That's what I mean.
Oh, he's going to take ages as well because he's got to label them and catalogue them. Yeah, this was what is the date at the time of recording this? Yeah, 22nd of February Iron Brew.
Colour chart. 7.5.
Cloudiness. 7 out of 10.
Cloudiness description. Sea monkeys. There we go.
Add to tomorrow's shopping list, cranberry juice.
Of course I've been dread back. Of course I have.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I tried to hold on until we were done with the episode. But
Because we're so close to being done as well.
I was so close to pissing myself, that's why I had to stop. I was like,
It's
fuck.
been a while, don't worry about it.
You don't have the commode chair anymore then. Usually you just turn your mic down.
No,
when
he's
you're
gone back to he's gone back to being a film critic.
I think Dread's gone for a number 2. I think. Yeah.
We ain't doing all this for next month, are we?
Yeah.
Fuck,
Yeah.
that quick?
Yes, we've got a month to do it.
Fuck. I've told you. I've got.
He wanted it fully painted, and
I've got a fucking army in that time.
Yeah.
Mate, no, we've look. How long have I been banging on about this Squigbuggy challenge? Like, it's been like 2 years. Like, it's been fucking. I'll have to look back at the post of 5 minutes. I've been waiting long enough, motherfucker. We're doing this.
I'm already
a month to do it.
I'm terrified because I'm the ultimate hobby procrastinator, and I'm dreading.
Mate,
it.
I am
If-
not, I am not in a cutting and building mode.
Well, if they aren't fully finished, because I was saying, because I said, if they're painted, cool. If not, the painting's not part of it. It's just it's a conversion challenge. But if it's painted, cool. But then I didn't take into account, did I, with all the crew and stuff, that these are. I've instantly there's already parts of mine. I'm like, well, that has to be done in sub-assembly because there's no way I'm doing it in closed cab and then painting the fucking driver. So.
Because this is going to be awkward because the camera's not normally where it is. I've just got used to fucking looking at it.
Warbosses of
Da
Da ApORKalypse.
Yeah.
This is what I've got to work with.